Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a brisk and beautiful Monday, Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We have Nate behind the glass for us today, but if you saw him, if you've been to one of our events and you've met Nate before, you wouldn't recognize him. The real Slim Shady is standing up. Nate has a new do, so we will have some fun with Nate throughout the show and probably throughout the week. But we have a lot to get to, so let's not waste any more time. Chris Watkins, the birthday boy, you're on the other side now.
Yeah.
You know, and I just want to say I hope you had a great birthday, and how you doing?
Good. Yeah. Thank you. And had a good weekend, except for no beam on Saturday. That felt a little cruel, to be honest with you. Felt like it was a personal attack. And, you know, we got nobody but LeBron to blame for it. Well, I guess we're going to do a blame pie later today, but I'm going to blame LeBron mostly for no birthday beam. But besides that, it was a good weekend. And, I think it's going to be a much better week. So excited to get the week going.
Well, look, me and you have not been fully on opposite sides, but, I am very reactionary, and one game loss happens and we're going to talk about what the heck went wrong. And then the second loss happens and, we got to talk about what went wrong. And we'll talk about panic meters and things like that. But the Kings weren't the only team in action. By the way, everybody is in action tonight. It is a sports equinox. So we will tell you what that means and give you a breakdown on how many screens. YouTube TV, this is your moment now. This is your moment. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you can cook up, YouTube TV, because this is the day to do it when you have the World Series, when you have the NBA going on, and you still have Monday Night Football. So what are you prepared to do, YouTube TV or whoever your provider is, in order to let everybody that wants to watch everything get viewed? But as far as the Niners are concerned, Chris, this is exactly what the doctor ordered. They're going into the bye week, and speaking of doctors, they need one. Jordan Mason goes down. He re-aggravates that shoulder injury. Deebo was in and out with a rib injury, but the other guys stepped up to the plate. Love seeing Ricky Pearsall that run. We were kind of questioning, okay, what is he really going to be in the league? Seems like more of a possession guy, but he's pretty sure-handed, at least from the start, Chris, and he does have a little bit of explosiveness. We saw that on that end around when he got 39 yards right there. But not just that, Isaac Guerendo. I mean, this is a big boy. You know what I mean? He's got some junk in the trunk, and he gets the top speed very, very quickly. So for everybody that gives the Niners a hard time about their drafts and when they swing and when they miss, it feels like this 2024 draft class is going to be, I don't want to say one for the ages, but one that's going to be talked about for a very, very long time. Brock Purdy, first half, he struggled a little bit, okay? First half was not pretty, to say the least. Still managed to not cough up the football, unlike his $60 million counterpart, Dak Prescott, did twice. But Brock Purdy, 18 for 26, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. Isaac Guerendo, 14 carries, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. And George Kittle. Hey, guys, did you know it was National Tight Ends Day? National Tight Ends Day. They told us about 8,000 different times, and we missed the parlay opportunity of a century. Well, I won't speak for everyone, but I know I missed out on it. I think, Chris, almost every starting tight end got a touchdown yesterday. Did you see the guy who ran a parlay, $10, okay, and ended up winning $100,000 just from playing every single competent tight end to score a touchdown? So don't think that'll happen next year. We missed our opportunity, but George Kittle got into the mix on kind of a questionable call on the offensive pass interference. We have that explanation. We have that sound. We'll get that for you in a couple minutes here. But 6 receptions, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. He moves to 5th on the all-time list for the Niners as far as catches are concerned. And really everything that we've talked about with the Niners as far as palate cleansing game, it wasn't as pretty as we've seen before with the Niners and the Cowboys, but ultimately they get the W heading into the bye week.
Yeah, the national tight end stuff got talked about to exhaustion. It was a bit much, to say the least. I don't think anybody cares. I don't know why they insist on just shoving it down our throats that it's National Tight End Day when it's not a day that anybody thinks about. It's a day that, when they tell us it is, I guess it is, but I don't is it the 3rd October of every month?
Fourth, they said. And that's
a joke. That was, oh man.
But that's why I know.
Actually what they do is, it's just, for sure, and I
don't want to know that. I don't want to know that.
I wonder if, there was some memo sent out to just pass it out to every tight end in the league, because there was dudes that, the Broncos had 2 tight ends score. The Broncos tight ends are the worst in the NFL. It was insane, ridiculous, and very NFL for them to just continually harp on it all day, even though I don't think anybody was asking. For the Niners, it was a bit of a palate cleanser. I think the end of the game was a lot closer than what it probably should have been. That last Cowboy drive where CeeDee Lamb just essentially walks into the end zone in 4 plays or whatever it was. It felt like it was 3 easy passes to get him in the end zone. Wasn't ideal. I think it made Niner fans sweat a little bit, but at the end of the day, they are just looking for wins at this point. And I think a win against the Cowboys still hits the exact same. It doesn't really matter. And now they have a little bit of time off to kind of get themselves right, get themselves healthy. And, I think being 500 with all the injuries they have, I don't think it's where they would have expected to be. I don't think it's where they want to be, but I do think that they're still in a really good position to handle business the rest of the way and look like the Niners that they look like last year and stop looking like the Niners that they've looked like through halfway through this season so far.
Chris, now you have me. I don't know why you said crazy. That, because now you have me thinking, because we have
about the tight ends.
Well, we have the sound and we're going to play it from the explanation about the offensive pass interference with George Kittle. Because I'm watching it, and that's just what it looked like. It looked like a big play, right? It looked like something very obvious. But here you go, Chris. I have all 14 tight ends that scored a touchdown yesterday because I know you want it. You got Mark Andrews, Njoku, Tucker Kraft, Evan Ingram, Sam Laporta. You have Wright on the Lions as well. Kyle Pitts, Cade Otton, Conklin, Dalton Kincaid, Travis Kelce, Trotman. That's what you're talking about, the Broncos.
Yeah.
Trotman and Adkins and George Kittle. So those are
we have backup tight ends getting touchdowns.
Those are all
it's bad when Kyle Pitts is out here getting 2 touchdowns in a game.
2 touchdowns. Somebody played a Kyle Pitts, Cade Otton, 2 touchdown each situation. Here's the sound, and thank you, Nate, for pulling this up. This is the explanation on why it wasn't an offensive PI.
Right there on the outside, just drilling Donovan Wilson. Wisconsin.
There's no foul for offensive pass interference.
And George Kittle, on his day, gets a touchdown. Let's go back to why here. This is not offensive pass interference. We'll bring Terry. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, Mike, it looks like the defender, one, steps in front of the receiver trying to run a route, and second, the other defender engages him and kind of rides him into him right here. So this is not offensive pass interference. This was correctly picked up.
Sure.
Okay. Can I just say, I was there last night in the press box. They threw 2 flags on that, and I've never seen a play where 2 refs throw flags. 2 different flags, and it got picked up. I thought, no way is this getting picked. It's like, oh, that's a pick. It's not going to be a touchdown. Right. No way are both refs picking. I said to Emil, and then sure enough, they did. That was absolutely shocking.
Yeah, and I get it's just the argument of how many times in those pick plays could they say, well, the defender did this, defender did that. Just interesting stuff. Interesting stuff.
It was a pick play. It was very clearly a pick play. Like Chris Conley runs a slant route that goes straight into the DB. It doesn't really matter if, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter if there is contact from the DBs or if the other DB is trying to fight through the receiver. Like, it was just clearly a pick play. And the letter of the law, maybe it says that the offensive player is in the right, but I think the spirit of it was completely what it was. I mean, that's exactly why that play was drawn up. It was drawn to be a pick, and it worked perfectly. It's just the referees have to call that. It doesn't make any sense. The explanation doesn't make any sense. And if you watch the replay, even as he's explaining it, it's not really clear and conclusive, everything that he's saying there. It's just, yeah, okay, there is contact. The DB is touching the receiver, and yeah, the other DB who's guarding Kittle he also made contact with Conley. I just didn't really understand what basis they had to pick it up, but doesn't matter. It's a George Kittle touchdown on his day.
I was going to say, are we saying there's a conspiracy here to get George's touchdown on national?
I'm saying that
day?
George Kittle is is the leader of the tight end school. I guess him and Travis Kelce.
No, it's him. He's the one who has started all this.
Yes, leader of the tight end
university.
School,
yeah.
tight end university.
Travis Kelce has enough things.
Yes. So look, I'm just saying, like you said it, Nate. 2 flags getting picked up.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
It did look very interesting. It's prime time. I mean, this is George Kittle's
Niners,
bag.
Cowboys,
Cowboys.
The last time they played, he had the shirt. I think he was wearing the shirt underneath. He didn't pull it though.
Yeah.
Not the only article of clothing.
Yes. Look, the Niners, man, and we were talking about it. I know that people call the Cowboys, and the term front runner gets used a lot. It's hard because when a team wins, you have a whole week, right? Or you're going into a bye week, so you have longer than a week. So football is a different beast in that we do see, I guess, celebrations more so than we see in a basketball game. Well, we have the Lakers sound. They acted like they really won something after beating the Kings for the first time in a very long time. But baseball, it's a little bit different. You just get the W, continue on. There is something about football that's different because, you only got 17 of these things. So when you do get a win, it's a big deal, especially for a team like the Niners. But I don't know, man. It always comes off very front runny where, we have the sound where George Kittle, like they're giving out the belts and everybody everything is all good. And it's just so unique what the NFL is. It's such a week to week league where there's just no problems in Ninerland right now because they got a W against a team that frankly they own and against a team that frankly is not very good. The Cowboys just aren't a very good team. All right, we have more sound. We'll get you that sound for George Kittle in the post game. We have sound from Isaac Guerendo, Brock Purdy on being better in the second half, Kyle Shanahan on where they're at as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sac Sports.
You know how it goes down, man. Sacktown Sports 1140 has you covered all year. Listen to every Sacramento Kings game and stay up to date on all Kings news on SacktownSports.com. Or listen to our live and local shows.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys.
We are your home of the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news! Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at Amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to Amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
From the 916, Rob from Rancho, a.k.a. the Soul Shine Band. Happy birthday, Chris. Well, happy belated birthday now. There you go, Chris.
Thank you. Yes. No, I'm not a big birthday person, so I like to just let it go. So thank you. Appreciate it. It's just not a big deal.
Oh, how many texts did you get?
People make huge months out of their. I don't know. I responded to all of them though.
Yeah,
you guys would be proud to know.
Well, I was Frankie beat me to the group chat, so I was gonna go separate just to see if you would respond. But then once Frankie went in the group, I wasn't gonna get out of the group. Yeah. So there you go. Well, glad you had a good time. And we had a good time watching the Niners take care of business last night against the Cowboys. And you know who's always having a good time? It's one George Kittle. Here's George Kittle in the post game. Do we have any confirmation? So Sunday Night Football, they created these belts specifically for this game. There were belts given out. I know George Kittle's big into wrestling. I couldn't tell if he got the belts. I don't think he got the belts because he said thank you to Sunday Night Football. It was just the most George Kittle post-game interview ever. Here it is.
Yeah, and it is National Tight End Day. Have you guys heard that from him yet? I'm not sure. And your 500th catch. How did you have this performance on this day?
That's all Brock and our whole team. Just opportunities and opportunities. Actually, Isaac said it perfect. We're all just out here working together. Offense, defense, special teams. We all played off each other tonight. We were a little slow there, in the second half a little bit. But we found our rhythm. Our defense came up big, and then we were able to run the clock out. Nothing like it. And Brock's just throwing up dimes like he always does.
Yeah, all right. Well, we have a special surprise here. We worked really hard all weekend on these belts. We have one for each of you. Yeah. George, give us your reaction to these belts.
Oh, my God. Here you go, Brock. There's one. There's two. Oh, yeah. Those are the belts, baby. This is the triple threat match. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Sunday Night Football. You guys are fabulous.
It looks good on you.
It does, doesn't it? It fits well. We'll see what happens.
I don't know if it'll fit your waist.
It might fit Brock.
But enjoy. It might fit Brock.
It's George's world. We're just living in it.
All right, now I'm convinced something was up. The belts now and we know George Kittle loves wrestling. When have they ever made belts before?
NFL's rigged, dude.
This is
they
so
also
bizarre.
have the National Tight End Day logo on them, which I believe includes George Kittle, a silhouette of George Kittle spiking the ball.
To be fair, everyone did think the Niners were going to win.
Yeah, it's just it's a bold move, It's like, what do you do with them if they lose,
you pick up flags.
He wasn't that annoying in that post game. There's definitely ones where he's been a lot.
He had to do a lot of heavy lifting on that one to not make it seem like the most cringe thing.
Yeah, because
if he didn't play along, if he didn't play along so much, that would have been like your girl
really
Nikki
bad.
Glazer on Amazon. Just all of us being like, okay, they gave him they pre-made belt. Like it's just. Why did they make 3? And also, they didn't have to make 3. I don't know why they decided to try and act like this is anything more than just for George.
And then Brock's just like, just leave me out of it. It's George's world. We're living in it.
It's George's world. I just need to know. I mean, look, none of us thought that the Niners weren't going to take care of business. I mean, it looked a little bit shaky in the
Chris
fourth.
picked the Cowboys.
Sure did. Felt good about it too.
Well, you know what? After what happened last season, I thought the Cowboys had a chance, but they're just not very good. I'm looking here, Chris, because I'm trying to see here. Yeah. So if the Cowboys had come back and won the whole thing, does Jake Ferguson get the belt?
Well,
I think so, I guess. But with the Kittle logo on it.
Kittle logo on
and
it.
Dak gets
Did they
it
make
too.
two versions of belts?
And Zeke gets it too. I don't know.
It's like a magnet.
I'll tell you what, though, Dak, for what also bringing up Dak was terrible. I don't know what those 2 picks were like. I legitimate like that's some David Carr interceptions. Like the underthrow on that deep ball was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how you feel confident in him, especially making $60 million now. And it wasn't just, I know that the talent that's around Dak isn't awesome either, but I don't just those throws that were interceptions were just absolutely terrible. And I know for a minute there, the first interception was his only incompletion, but you just have to be better than that. I mean, I actually think that the Niners left that game open for the Cowboys to potentially steal it, and they did not take that opportunity at all. It was embarrassing, and I guess that's kind of what happens when you don't have a run game either. Like you just kind of rely on feeding CD, and if you can't get it to CD, you're kind of screwed.
And they did get it to CD.
13 catches, 17 targets.
Yeah.
The play calling, to your guys' point, it was atrocious by Dallas. I believe it was their first drive, 3rd and 5. They called a fullback dive.
I have no clue.
We were shocked. And then on top of that, their special teams, I believe they had 3 penalties on the dynamic kickoffs. The Cowboys on both sides, not just they had illegal formation on.
That's coaching.
Yeah, that's 100%. They had a guy run off sides. They had an illegal formation in the first half. I don't remember the third one, but it was. I think McCarthy. I mean, I know you get a long leash if you're Jerry Jones' coach. I think he's he's going to be out quick here.
Yeah, and I'm going to this is something else too, because I was watching it with a neighbor, and I think that Dak Prescott kind of similar to Derek Carr, even though Derek Carr was never as mobile as Dak Prescott. And honestly, I think even Derek Carr will still grab a first down if he needs to. Look, I do think that there are certain QBs out there that really want to prove I am just like Randy Moss. I am not a Raider. I am not a runner. But Dak Prescott, when he burst into the scene, he was running the football a little bit. And you see Brock Purdy, 56 yards. Brock Purdy has had as many rushing yards as the Cowboys. In this day and age, Dak, nobody is going to think that you can't throw the football if you run a little bit. There are times, Chris, and I don't know if it's because he broke his foot. That's why I compared it.
I mean, it was a pretty nasty injury.
Yeah, that's why I compared it to Derek Carr, because he simply refuses to run. And when you have no run game, on top of that, there's just no threat of anything. No. I mean, you're giving Ezekiel.
You're just sitting back. Yeah.
You're giving fullback Ezekiel Elliott, because that's what he looks like these days. 10 carries on 34 yards. Dalvin Cook, you bring him in 6 carries for 12
out
yards.
Of the league 3 weeks ago.
I mean, they need to, and that's why Leonard Fournette sitting there on the Big Shaq podcast, because they both went to LSU, said, come get me. You have to do something, because what I'm confused about is it's okay if you're not very good, if you understand that you're not very good. The Cowboys are living in some type of world where I don't know. They think that they're going to compete without a running game, and Jerry is sitting up there saying it's just about execution. I mean, Ezekiel, how many teams would Ezekiel Elliott start on right now? He starts on the Cowboys. Be on.
He was on the Patriots last year, and they cut him. I don't think he would be on a roster right now. I think he'd be sitting with Leonard Fournette and Dalvin Cook. I just feel like Zeke, especially, he's definitely lost a step, to put it lightly. And there's just no way. I mean, there's no way they can compete without a run game. And it's funny almost, I guess, because Dallas, especially when Zeke first got there, I mean, they were inheriting like a 2,000-yard easy rushing line. That line had DeMarco Murray rushing for damn near 2,000 yards. And now I don't know what their team identity is. I guess it's Dak Prescott and CD on offense. And I think they thought that their defense was going to be imposing and was going to be back to, Deron Bland led the NFL in interceptions. They get Trayvon Diggs, who before he got hurt was getting pick sixes left and right. I think they legitimately thought that their defense was going to be the answer for them this year. And I think they quickly realized that they're just not even average on both sides of the ball. I think that they're, close to 20th. To me, they're really close to being a bottom 10 team on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it is a mess out there in Dallas. And we'll see what Jerry has to say on their flagship station this week, because I'm sure he's not going to be happy. They had an opportunity and they let it slip away. Okay, we have more sound from Isaac Guerendo finally scoring, Brock Purdy on being better in the second half, and Kyle Shanahan on where the team is at right now. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Where do you go when you need someone to represent you? For me, you want someone that is local and that you can actually get to and talk with. There are plenty of big branded lawyers out there with the name, but you never get to talk to them. So go to saclegaldefense.com and connect with the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez. He's local, he'll represent you, and he'll have your back. Whether it's expungements, wrongful termination, when you're in a spot when you need legal help, call the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez at 916-304-9187.
Tesla, keeping it real tour. Saturday, November 9th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Tesla, live. The multi-platinum rock band returns with special guests. Fuel. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Tesla, keeping it real tour.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. SubcontractorsUnited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
You'll eat the table.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Nate and his beautiful blonde locks. He looks like that dude from Slytherin on Harry Potter. What was that?
Malfoy?
Draco Malfoy. But his was a little lighter. All right. UC Davis football is back in action this Saturday. Right now, we are going to tell you when we're going to give away those tickets. That's going to be at 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock, we will pick that lucky number to score our Stiles Watkins family 4-pack and parking to check out the Aggies hosting Northern Colorado this Saturday. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com. That is at 12 o'clock. I got a buddy that played basketball at Northern Colorado. Chris, as we get to some of this sound, the text line from the 925, what would they as in the Niners, what would they have done if Dak wasn't garbage? And I think that's to your point. And maybe that's why the post-game front runniness bothers me. A win is a win, but yes, to that point, you guys almost kind of tricked this off, and they're going to go into the bye week, and it's all going to be forgotten. But Brock Purdy, he did play better in the second half, and as he played better, the defense, they're running into each other. CeeDee Lamb ends up wide open. If the Cowboys had their you-know-what together, the Niners probably would have been in trouble. So I'm curious. We'll open up the phone lines, 925, or excuse, that's my number. Jeez, I almost said my number. 916-339-1140.
Almost Sam Mitchell'd yourself there. My
and
goodness.
This is where I live, 916-339-1140. How you feeling about the Niners? And, of course, Kings talk. That comes up at 11. But, yeah, breaking down all things Niners right now. Let us know how you feel. Isaac Guerendo, I really like this kid, man. I just like the fact that he flies and he's a big boy, and it seems like he's got his head on straight. I really like him, Chris. This is him on scoring and ultimately, getting this opportunity with Jordan Mason out.
There seems to be no controversy. You actually did give yourself up for that touchdown. Oh, yeah, 110%. I had to make sure people knew on that one. Right, exactly.
How did that feel, being that you finally got one? You called the last one a business decision, in Seattle. So you got this one. You were just short in the preseason of one. So how did this one feel,
I think the most important part was, being able to finish that game with a win. More than anything, obviously, making sure I'm taking advantage of my opportunities, but, got to give props to the O-line, tight ends, receivers, just all blocking their butts off. So, appreciate that more than anything. But, like I said, I'm just happy with the win.
Isaac Guerendo, 14 carries, 85 yards, 6.1 yards per carry, and one glorious touchdown. Great stuff from him, Chris. And, fourth rounder, the Niners have swung and missed on kind of those early-ish running backs before. I know it's early for him, and he did whiff on some blocks, and he'll tell you that himself. It's a work in progress, but I really like what I see from him so far.
Yeah, he's looked good. He's had a couple explosive runs at the late points of games. I'm still a little, like the one that he had a couple weeks ago, and even to an extent, the one he had last night, definitely less so the one last night. I do wonder how much of these long runs teams are kind of going all in on those plays, and he's just kind of breaking through the first line of defense and then able to break free. Again, less so last night. And more so on that first run where he kind of really broke free, but he's looked really good, especially in limited carries. I think the thing that's really concerning for him is just his fumbling that's popped up a couple different times throughout this season. I think he fumbled on a kick return in preseason, and he's fumbled twice, lost one so far this season in limited carries. That's really the only thing that I think is concerning about him kind of getting more touches, as we see Jordan Mason might have to miss a week or two, or who knows if McCaffrey comes back. We know how that workload ends up going. So it could all be for nothing. But I think ultimately the thing that we've learned from McCaffrey's absence is even when he's back, like, I want to see these guys get carries. I want to see Jordan Mason get carries. I want to see Isaac Guerendo get carries. It's in your team's best interest in the short term. And I really think, obviously, in the long term, you want one of these guys to potentially be able to replace a Christian McCaffrey, or if he does go out for a couple weeks, like a guy who you're comfortable slotting in there and still not missing a beat offensively.
And Deebo Samuel, 4 carries, 15 yards, and one set of bruised ribs. They just got to stop with that. He got 15 yards, like I said, 3.8 per carry. I just think that time Deebo is too old to be doing that. That's how I feel about it. And I get it. You're down to the bones of your depth chart with no CMC, and then Jordan Mason goes down. But I still don't like it as far as I don't like it now, Chris, because there's no Brandon Ayuk. So Deebo, the receiver, is much more important. When you had Brandon Ayuk, sure, I didn't like it either, but at least you still had weapons. You need Deebo on that field, and I just don't think the reward is worth the risk right now. One thing I do like, Chris, from Isaac Guerendo is his ability to catch the football. 3 receptions, 17 yards. That's just something that is not really in Jordan Mason's wheelhouse right now. It's not really in his bag. So with no Christian McCaffrey, nobody's Christian McCaffrey, but at least you're giving Brock Purdy that escape valve when he needs it. Speaking of Brock Purdy, here it is on being better in the second half than he was in the first.
Definitely thought had some missed opportunities, obviously for big plays, but just completions in general in that first half, especially on third downs. And so, for me, I was just being real with myself and knew that I had to be better, especially for our team, man. Defense was doing a great job in that first half, and for us, I feel like we just stalled on third downs, and a lot of that was on me. So went in to halftime, just talked about our plan for the second half, and for my mindset, it was like I got to get back to basics and just keep things simple in my mind, and still playing with conviction, but being aggressive and just trusting in my guys. And so that was the mindset, and I thought we went out and for the most part executed a lot better.
Yeah, it's a bit of a confusing game, Chris, because just like you said earlier, and as I'm listening to this and how poorly really Brock played in the first half, this game, honestly, I'm stuck here, but I feel like this game says more about Dallas than it does the Niners. I mean, the Niners did not really play well.
I agree.
And Dallas, they had opportunities, a game that they both need, right? But I think Dallas, to finally beat the Niners, which it feels like they have not done in a very long time, specifically Dak Prescott, this was your opportunity. The Niners, everything is all good because they won, but they have some issues they still need to address. The Cowboys had opportunities to get this done in the first half and the second half. And they just refused. They said, no, I don't want the victory. I don't want to deal with it. The Dak Prescott, the first pick, this is what I don't get, Chris. I've never played a down of quarterback in my life, right? But I would just imagine when you have a safety that is just kind of sitting there waiting, that safety is going to help. That first pass to Turpin that got picked, I'm just curious, did Dak think he was going to throw it? Was he trying to underthrow it? Was he trying to throw it past the safety and Turbin just going to run and catch it? I'm just very confused because I'm just thinking, okay, any quarterback, let alone a $60 million man, should know that the safety is going to come help there for your deep route. Like I said, I think I know for a fact Dak knows more football than me, but I'm just not understanding that.
I would guess that he thought he put a little bit more juice on it. I would assume that he thought he really laid it out there and it was going to be a fingertip type touchdown, but he underthrew it by a solid. I mean, I would assume, to your point, like where he probably wanted to throw it versus where it ended up had to be like a 5 to 8 yard difference because it just made no sense. Like the DB caught it not even in the end zone. Like he caught it with plenty of room to spare. And I don't know what makes you make that throw unless you just are saying forget it. And maybe he meant for it to be a little bit more towards the sideline than it was. So it, again, was a little bit more of an all or nothing thing. But regardless, I don't think you can turn it over in that situation. It was still early in the game. You had an opportunity to kind of put your stamp on the game early. And the fact that you instead have it be a turnover that then leads to it didn't lead to a Niner touchdown, thankfully, for the Cowboys. But I just felt like it was a really, really bad decision in that time. And I feel like, especially I gave Brandon Ayuk a lot of grief for being a $30 million receiver and not playing like it. To be a $60 million quarterback and making those two terrible throws, it's inexcusable. And I mean, I know that there's a lot of pressure on Dak just being the Cowboys quarterback and there not being many offensive weapons. And so maybe he feels like, hey, I got to go out there and I have to actually go make plays happen. You just can't have it. Not that early. It wasn't worth the risk. And you had a real opportunity to create some momentum, and it felt like the Cowboys just never at any point in that game had much momentum.
The 916. I hate the Cowboys, but as far as that Dak first pick, Bosa was on him and didn't get to put everything on it. That's true.
Too. Yeah,
but again, you're throwing to, and I guess the idea was he was going to outrun him. We know Turpin dang near Olympic speed, but that brother is 5'7". So I'm just not really sure how that
unless he's wide.
How does that end?
Open.
Unless he's wide. Unless you got the guy beat.
Right.
He wasn't even. He did not have them beat. So even if Dak gets everything on it, it's a jump ball with Spud Webb.
Right.
So that's what. I'm just not seeing how that was going to end different in a success.
Yeah.
I just don't see that ending successfully. But thank you.
Yes, Bosa did get him.
Yes, thank you for the shout. 916. Okay, let's go to Kyle Shanahan talking about where the Niners are at heading into the bye week.
That for you tomorrow. I'm just thinking about this game right now, but I'm glad you always go into a season you expect to win them all. So you're not exactly where you want to be, but going into this game, we knew this was a big win. We didn't want to be 3-5 going into the bye week, having your backs against the wall like that. Getting that win was huge. Being 4-4, not at all the record that we wanted when we set out. But when you look at our division and everything, feeling a real good spot, and especially finishing it here with a win. Hopefully we can take some time off, rest a little bit, get a couple guys back, hopefully, and come back and string some wins together here in the second half.
There you go. That's Kyle Shanahan feeling good about the situation right now. And why wouldn't they? Well, the NFC West, it is quite the fight right now. We'll talk about the standings, if the Niners are back or not, and some of the injury issues that continue to plague the red and gold. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple. Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento State football this Saturday at 6 versus Portland State. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda. I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Monday, the start of a new work week. Nice and cool start out there. In fact, temperatures dipped down to the 40s this morning, so grab those jackets. For the afternoon, expecting a mix of sun and clouds, maybe a brief shower with highs today in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota and go apple picking. Go to a football game. Go ghost hunting. Or not. This fall, get a low lease on the sporty 2024 Corolla, adventure-ready RAV4 Hybrid, rugged Tacoma, and even the new all-hybrid 2025 Camry.
Grab the keys, come on, let's go.
Toyota, let's go places. Offer available to TFS buyers with premium rated credit until 11/4/24.
When I realized I was going to have to sign up for my own health insurance plan, I was ready to freak. But then I found Health Markets. Health Markets lays out a list of plans available to you. It's straightforward and so easy. And if you need help, they have licensed insurance agents you can speak with. Just dial pound 250 and say Health Markets. That's it. Pound 250 and say Health Markets.
Discover the advantages of real, personalized service today with Health Markets. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts. Paid actor per trail.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage. Breathe easy.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Are the Niners back? They ever go anywhere? Now they're going into the bye week, Chris, and they go into the bye week with the Bucks up next. Brock Purdy has historically played pretty darn well against the Bucks, even when it was Tom Brady. So you got to feel good about that. Obviously, Chris Godwin done. Mike Evans may be back by then. The Bucks tried to hang around with the Falcons, but just kind of like we thought, there's not enough firepower. I do like their running game that they have with Rashad White and Bucky Irving, but the Niners are going to be well rested to take on the Buccaneers. By the way, Chris, speaking of Super Bowl hopefuls, the Patriots, another guy that they're trading. They traded someone earlier this season. The Patriots are trading pass rusher Josh Uche to the Chiefs. Sources tell Ian Rappaport, coming off a win, KC lands a new player on the edge. So that is for a sixth rounder. A lot of people are saying, well, the Niners need to go get somebody. Look, we'll see what happens. I mean, you got Hassan Reddick out there for the Jets, and that didn't really seem to help, right? I mean, now the difference is Hassan Reddick hadn't been playing, but yeah, so the Chiefs are just making little moves here or there. DeAndre Hopkins only only a part of a couple plays. I don't think he had the full play sheet yet. That's what they were saying on the broadcast. But the Chiefs just making little moves, Chris, little moves here or there to give their team the best chance to, of course, stay undefeated. The Raiders, real quick before we get back into the Niners, can I just say, Gardner Minshew, I think I might have to just refuse to watch Gardner Minshew moving forward. If Gardner Minshew is QBing, I just won't watch the game because I don't want to support that product. Okay, I know.
Last week you said this was the main operative. You said that this is what the Raiders need to do. They took care of business. Right, they lost, and Gardner Minshew helps you lose.
Yeah, no, you're right, but I don't need to watch it. I don't think. I just want to check at the end of the game, make sure they got that L.
Mission accomplished.
And I'll tell you what. I know Desmond Ridder. He had a great story. He was dang near crying when he got the call to go to Vegas. Don't come up in here, Desmond Ridder, think you're going to start winning ball games.
Oh no,
we have a plan. Okay,
I don't think you have to worry about that.
The plan is in place. Yeah. You never know. Look, I know Jameis comes up. They beat the Ravens, but man. I know Jameis is much better than Desmond Ridder. It was so bad, Chris. I'm watching the game, and of course, because as a fan, I do want the Raiders to lose. But as a fan, if you could beat the Chiefs, I mean, you don't got to go winless, right? Okay, beat the Ravens, beat the Chiefs, and I can give my friends that are kind of bandwagon Chiefs fans some grief. When he fumbled that football,
the fumble was it. That was it. That's inexcusable.
When he fumbled that football, I almost said, baby Styles, just turn on Miss Rachel.
Yeah,
we'll just watch him. I don't need to watch this anymore.
I mean, it was over at that point. You know,
he's just so bad.
He's terrible. I mean, that's exactly what you can't have. Like, he actually had, to his credit, like a decent day leading into that. But then that's where you make your money is in a time where, you could potentially come and upset the Chiefs. I say come and upset the Chiefs because I don't know if you saw, Alan, it's embarrassing also what's going on in Vegas. Like, it needs to be, they can't fix it because obviously it is what it is at this point. And there's maybe the only way that it changes is by everybody doing their round of Vegas and having it be just like not a thing anymore. But the home crowds are a joke.
It's a joke.
It's an absolute joke. I mean, I went there for Vikings Raiders last year. I'm not joking. It was 85% Vikings fans, and that's Vikings fans. The Chiefs game yesterday, it was a sea of red. It looked like the Niners were playing the Rams or something at SoFi. It was a joke, and I don't see how it changes. And I just kind of think about it, and as the Raiders have an opportunity to upset one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL at home in front of their home crowd. I just think how much differently and I don't know how much home field advantage really plays a factor in football in terms of wins and losses, but to not have an opportunity to have that be in front of a roaring audience, make it a really tough environment for Patrick Mahomes, like, it's just embarrassing. And again, I don't think it can get fixed because I just think every single team, this is a divisional opponent. They play them every single year. And yet the Chiefs fans still made it a point to go make a Vegas trip out of it. I don't know if there's any franchise in the NFL that's not going to have a fan base look and circle the week they play the Raiders and say, let's make a Vegas trip out of this. It just feels like this is an absolute mess of an idea. And, as it kind of can link in with the A's thinking about moving there, I just don't, and NBA has talked about expansion into Vegas as well. I just don't know if Vegas is a good sports market. Obviously, the city of Vegas is almost built on sports, especially sports gambling, but it just feels like as an actual culture there, none of the locals are showing up. Like, I don't think it's a good environment to put a home team. Like, honestly, I want to call them like the Vegas Generals because that's what it feels like, is that they're just the vessel for another team to come in and run all over them.
Yeah, so the only thing I'll say, Chris, is I don't think it's a matter of Vegas as a sports city. I think it's a matter of how they're getting these teams. Because whenever you go out to Vegas, what you're going to see everywhere is Golden Knights stuff. They love their Golden Knights. They love their aces. So I don't think it's a matter of Vegas not showing up for their teams. It's a matter of Vegas not feeling like the Raiders are their team. And that's the thing that I don't know will ever change. Maybe in years to come. And honestly, by this time, Mark Davis might be gone. Okay. We might be gone by the time this whole thing filters through to the point where this is the team. There's just not enough people that grew up. So you plopped a team out there in Vegas with a bunch of people that when you go to Hawaii, even up here, not so much in Sacramento, but let's keep going north to Tahoe, wherever it is, these places that don't have sports teams, they just pick whoever. So if you've lived in Vegas for a very long time, but you followed your dad followed the Colts.
Sure.
Now you followed the Colts. You're not just going to grab the Raiders because they're here.
I would think so, though. It's football. Like it's a football. If a team moved to Sacramento, I'm dropping the Vikings and I'm going to be a Sacramento fan.
Really?
100%. 100%. No question. It's football's the biggest sport that we have in this country.
Yeah.
If moving a team to your city isn't going to be good enough to get the local, and I'm not even blaming it on Vegas. I just think that the people of Vegas, I just think the city of Vegas isn't a good place to have a home sports crowd. I think it's a good place to have these neutral sites, but to have a home team there, I just don't think Vegas as a media market is like in the 30s and the 40s or something like that. It's much below Sacramento. I just don't see how there's enough of an appetite there to supply a sports team every single game with a home court advantage, especially when, again, I think that it's always going to be teams from outside coming in and looking at this as an opportunity. If you're in Cincinnati, Ohio, you're never going to Las Vegas. You maybe go once in your entire lifetime. It's an excuse to go to Vegas.
Yeah, but what I'm also saying is it's how, and I don't know how much people actually care, but I think it's a combination of a bunch of things. I think it's a very bad gumbo. I think that when you drop a team out there, and like I said, your family has followed a certain team forever in Vegas. Now all of a sudden you're going to drop that team and be a fan of Vegas. And let's be honest, we sit here and everybody thinks that, oh, well, my group of fans, or we're not fair weather fans, or we're not fair weather fans. Yeah, it also doesn't help that the Raiders stink. If the Kansas City Chiefs were in the same situation and they moved to Vegas, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So it's all connected. You move to Vegas and you suck, so nobody wants to watch. Nobody's going to drop their team for a team that sucks.
Sure.
It's going to be the same thing with the A's to some degree if the A's aren't good.
Yeah.
If I'll leave my team, right? So you said you would leave the team, you would leave the Vikings if a team came to Sacramento. If there was I don't want to say blood on your hands, but if you knew how the team got out there to Sacramento, number one, and number two, the product stunk, maybe you'd say, all right, I'm going to rock with my Vikings right now. I got JJ McCarthy. I got a future over there. I got Jay Jettas. Okay. But whenever I can always go to the Raiders if they figure it out. And I think that's what a lot of fans are doing. They've had these fandoms for years, decades, maybe. And you come out there and you want me to leave my team for that? So
that's why they were supposed to be chosen to go there.
But I just think it's a chicken or the egg thing. I think I'll leave it at my kind of main point. If the Chiefs move to Vegas, I don't think we're having this conversation.
Sure. No, I mean, probably not to that extent, but I still think it exists, and it's still, it might not be as severe. It might not be 80%, but it still, I think, would be 50. And I just wonder, in general, as a market, again, I understand that it's cool to have the in-season tournament end there. Like, to me, that makes sense for a Vegas sporting event. But again, just having a team, I just don't know at all if there's going to be enough local civic pride for them to field a home field advantage every single week in all of these sports too. Like, we're talking now about, it might have been easier for Vegas to supply when it was only two teams there, when it was just the Aces and the Golden Knights. But now they have the football team. Now they're trying to get baseball team. Now they're trying to get a basketball team. It just feels like at some point here, the market is going to run out regardless of how many fans they actually have. It just feels like they're spreading themselves too thin, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, I think the bigger point is too that the Raiders do suck, and that doesn't help at all with any of this.
Yeah, and I do wonder the other this is an issue at all these places, right? I mean, you have an issue with the Chargers. Chargers deal with the same thing. Sure. They're in LA. The Rams, I don't think it's as bad. And the Rams won a dang Super Bowl, but you look at the Chargers just moving up. What is it, 5 or 205 north, and the Chargers are in the same position. That's one of the only home games that the Raiders get when they play the Chargers. So that's an issue too. I'm curious to see if the Chargers now that they are winning, right? It's ugly football, but they are winning with Harbaugh, and they have their quarterback with Justin Herbert. I am curious to see, okay, if the Chargers can start to turn that fan base or get new fans, then I think I'd have more hope for Vegas. I think ultimately, Chris, the bottom line is, one, they stink, and two, I feel like fans do like something that's purely theirs. You'll take it. You'll take having something over nothing. But this idea of the Raiders the Raiders have been all over. I don't think Vegas feels like the Raiders are theirs. I don't think I don't think they're going to feel like the A's are theirs. There is a difference between. I think that the NBA
teams move all the time.
I just think that the NBA won't have this problem if it's a team straight up created in Vegas, and if they do, it won't be this bad. Nothing is going to be as bad as the Raiders.
Sure.
I don't think so. But like I said, you also have to win football games. That's part of it too. All right. On the other side, it is time. Get your phones out. 916-339-1140. That's the text line and the call line, not my personal phone line. It's time to talk panic meter. Is Chris going to try to bring me back? Is Chris on the side of the panic meter himself? Is Keon Ellis in the doghouse? What's going on in Sacramento? Kings talk when we return. Stiles Watkins, Sac State Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Ready to pre-game your next big arena event? Head to Beach Hut Deli, a Sacramento tradition for over 40 years, where aloha is served daily. They're just steps away from the arena. So whether it's game day or concert night, it's the perfect spot to gather with friends and enjoy amazing sandwiches. And if you're planning a bigger get-together, Beach Hut Deli offers endless catering options too, to bring those fresh, delicious flavors to your next party or event. Beach Hut Deli. Good vibes, great food, and epic times await.
Rob Thomas, a special intimate performance.
I don't wanna be lonely no more. I don't wanna have to pay for
Benefiting Sidewalk Angels Foundation. One night only, Saturday, November 16th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Rob Thomas.
Summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all four arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Power Days?
The savings just keep getting better and better. Right now, you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorns. And yes, I said the very nicely equipped, updated 2025 Rams.
Man, that is some of the best savings you've had all year.
Yep, and you won't find better deals on more Ram trucks than at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. There's a reason we continue to be one of the biggest Ram dealers in the country, with numerous customer service awards, including the very prestigious Walter P. Chrysler Award, which means we are in the top 1% of dealers in the nation.
Don't miss the savings at Hoblet. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,000 total net savings after 12,500 factory rebates and 4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance through Chrysler Capital. 3,000 in Hoblet inventory select coupons and 2,000 in Hoblet trade-in assistance coupons. Must have qualifying trade-in. At least 5 of this net savings. Coupons only while supplies last. See dealer for details.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports 1140. Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's time. It is time to discuss all things Sacramento Kings and whether or not the Kings have a problem. Okay, De'Aaron Fox, 28 points. Kevin Huerter, 14 points. Domantas Sabonis, 29 points. LeBron James, 32. He went on a very, very hot stretch there. And Anthony Davis finally gets the best of one Domantas Sabonis. He had 31 points in a game, Chris, where it just looked like the Kings had opportunities. The Lakers had opportunities, and the Lakers go on that run, go on that stretch, and that has plagued the Kings these first couple games. You know, you had the stretch from the Timberwolves, but that was nothing in comparison to what happened against the Lakers. And, you know, it's a problem. You got to find a way to get stops. This is from Frankie Cardicelli. It was Minnesota's 11-0 run at the end of the third quarter on Thursday that acted as a difference in a 2-point loss. Tonight, a 21-0 run by the Lakers to open up the fourth cost Sacramento another game. Tough late game execution to begin the season. We know it was going to be a transition, Chris, and I know you have been pretty darn optimistic just throughout preseason and the beginning of the season as people are trying to hit the panic button pretty early on. But where is your level of concern? Where are you on the panic meter for the Sacramento Kings? Big game tonight. I know it's the Blazers, but I would say it's a pretty big game just to get this taste out.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to start this. I mean, the vibes are already on a downward spiral. And I think the last thing you want is to really add fuel to that fire by losing to a Blazers team that you really have no business even being in competition with. Like, it should be a blowout. If you look at the line, Vegas has it as a 12.5-point spread for the Kings. Like, they think it should be a blowout. I think fans want to believe it should be a blowout. And I think the only thing holding you back is the fact that there's just so much hesitation to go all in with this team. And I think the first two games definitely build up a lot of walls for people to try and believe into this team. And I definitely understand. My concern level is at a 1. I mean, it's still so early in the season. They're 0-2. They have 80 games remaining. Yeah, for sure. We definitely have to take note. It would have been good to split one of these two games. I think they deserve to split one of them, but that's not how it works. I think you have an easy slate of opponents coming up, and that should right all the wrongs that you've had so far. I mean, a lot of teams have had the luxury of playing a really bad team, and now I think it's time for the Kings to get their opportunity, and you got to be able to pounce on it. I think that's what this season's going to ultimately come down to is, can you hold yourself up against these inferior opponents and just be competitive against some of the better teams? So far, they've been competitive against the Wolves. They've been competitive against the Lakers. It's a bit of a moral victory at this point, but tonight you have to take care of business. There's no questions about it. There's no excuses for it. If you lose today, that's really where you deserve all the criticism that you're going to get coming down the line, because you don't get to start the season 0-3 after not meeting expectations the way they did last year.
Yeah, and Mike Brown was asked about that run that LeBron really went on.
Yeah, it
was, oh, well, I called a timeout. Maybe I could have called another one. I don't know. That's essentially what he said. Here's my worry, Chris. My worry is that we're now 2 games in, and we have not excuses, but basically we're sitting here saying the first night it was, oh, well, I mean, we don't really have a guy for Julius Randle. Julius Randle kind of had a hot night. And now the second game, it's, oh, well, LeBron James, he got off to a really hot start in the third, and nobody has a guy for LeBron. So I'm just thinking, okay, well, hopefully they don't, but is it going to be, we don't have a guy for Jeremy Grant tonight? No. I don't want to get used to the excuse, I guess, of, we don't have somebody for that. Because then to me, it's a Monty McNair question. Because if more often than not, there are nights where there are just dudes that you don't have an answer for, that's a problem. That is a problem with the roster construction to me.
Well, that's what we said at the beginning of the year, though. And so I would say it's a Monty McNair problem, is that we said that the depth at the forward position was going to be an issue for this team this season. And what's happened is that a forward in Julius Randle absolutely demolished Keegan and DeRozan. And then on Saturday's game, they didn't have any sort of forward depth answers for Anthony Davis, who's 6'10", and not a lot of people have answers for, but you would think that a lot of teams have some sort of 6'10" freakish athlete that you can go out and at least throw him on there to match size for size. And LeBron, you don't have anyone either. You throw Trey Lyles at really both of those guys and expect to get some sort of an answer. That's just not going to work. And so, honestly, you could definitely say, and I know we're not doing blame pie yet, but you could definitely argue that Mike Brown definitely deserves some sort of criticism as well. But I think Monty McNair does deserve a little bit of flack for these two losses, because we all could see that this team didn't have enough forward depth and they didn't address it at all this offseason.
I'm trying to say this as respectfully as possible, because as you're talking and you're saying, you're bringing up somebody, 6'9", 6'10", that can just kind of be thrown out there. How bad, and I know they ultimately got Doug McDermott. How bad did Jalen McDaniels have to look for them to just ship him off without even just seeing if you could? I mean, Chris, even if you can't shoot the basketball, defense doesn't really slump. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have moved him, because we didn't see enough of him, and what we did see wasn't great. But when you say something like that, and then you look at the Doug McDermott of the world, who they brought in, you could double down on offense. But what I'm worried about is the fact that you had 3 20-point scores in both the first 2 games, and you lost. Mm-hmm. Offense was never really the problem. So I'm looking around thinking, okay, well, are they just supposed to score more?
Yeah, I think that's the hope, is that they, you put up 127 points. To be fair, you should expect to win, 95% of those games, and the fact that you don't definitely more so speaks to defense. But I think that they were hoping to be a little bit more dominant offensively. But again, it's only been 2 games, and that's where it's like, DeMar is a really big piece. And in game 1, I think he definitely was forcing it a bit. And then in game 2, I thought DeMar did a great job, but you can still see that the pieces, with the rotation specifically, aren't coming together. And Mike Brown kind of told us that in the preseason. He said multiple times, I really don't have a feel for this team yet, because a lot of my bench players were out during preseason. And I don't love that. I don't love hearing it. I don't love it as an excuse, but I do think it's definitely what's happening, is that they just don't really know exactly what pairings to put together. They just know that their best 6 or their best 5 with Malik Monk into the starting lineup, with the exception of Herter, who I thought played well on Saturday. I saw a lot of people giving him grief. I think he caught some strays, because it has to be, if Keon's getting minutes, someone's got to take their minutes.
And we'll do trust me, we got plenty of time for the Keon situation.
Sure. I don't know. I think that the bigger issue is that they just don't really know who to play outside of those 6 guys. And besides that, it's just so early in the season, but I won't sit here and act like I've enjoyed what I've seen through 2 games. Saturday was really, really infuriating. I just didn't like how they played. I didn't like the shots that I felt like they were settling for. And defensively, it just felt like they were helpless against LeBron and AD.
Yeah. And the big thing for me, and you know how I am, Chris, I'm always looking towards the future. The big thing for me is, okay, well, I'm not saying that anybody's panic meter has to be a 9 or a 10, anything like that, but we're going to sit here, and if they lose to the Blazers, which I hope they don't, even if they win ugly, just get a W, finally get a beam. Yeah. If they do lose, I'm saying we blink and you look at this game, there are 82 games, but it's the fastest, it's the longest yet quickest season in sports. You blink and now it's 10 games and you're 2-8, and the same thing that we did last season. 3-7. Okay, 3-7.
I just think they have such an easy. If we want to look ahead, I think they have such an easy schedule ahead that's why I'm super not. If they had a much tougher schedule, if they had 2 games against Phoenix, and which they do have 2 games against Phoenix, but that's like 10 games down the line. If they had a bunch of tough opponents, I would be concerned. I would say, man, they already lost 2 gettable games, and now they have a ton of opportunity to blow it. But they have the Blazers, Jazz, Hawks, Raptors, Heat, Raptors, Clippers right in front of them. That's a great opportunity to have us just completely forget that they lost the first two games in close games against 2 teams that look really, really sharp. The Lakers, say what you will about them, say whatever you want about JJ Redick. They hit shots, and they have looked great so far this season. Timberwolves, they're figuring it out still, but they have looked good and like a playoff team through 3 games so far as well. So that's just really where I'm still a little bit hesitant to ultimately freak out. But to me, the more concerning thing was the process of I just didn't like the shots that a lot of them were taking the other day.
Okay, well, we can both agree that it starts tonight.
Yes, absolutely, undeniably.
It starts tonight, and I wouldn't sleep on. We have a full preview coming up later in the show in the last hour, but I wouldn't sleep on the Blazers either because they did the little mini series against the Pelicans. They got their butts whooped by the Warriors to start the season. They lost to the Pelicans, but then they came back and beat the Pelicans by about 20. So I would not sleep on the Blazers. You know that they got Jeremy Grant, Anthony Simons. They got some guys. So I don't think the Kings aren't going to be able to roll the ball out, but they should 12.5 spread, whatever it is, they should be able to take care of business. Chris, I'm looking here at the box score. And by the way, my guy, Dalton Connect, 2 for 5 from 3-point land, 10 points. He played 20 minutes, was a plus 16. Chris, I think part of the reason people are getting on Kevin Huerter, 26 minutes. He was 4 for 7 from 3, which we love to see. But some people don't care about plus or minus. Some people do. Chris, I mean, he's a minus 29. So for context, Domantas Sabonis a plus 11, DeMar DeRozan minus 9, Keegan Murray plus 8, De'Aaron Fox minus 5. There's nobody even close. I mean, Malik Monk was a plus 20 in 28 minutes. Kevin Huerter played 26 minutes. He was a minus 29. So I think that's where. So I saw some people post what looks different here. You know what I mean? And it was basically used to highlight Kevin Huerter. But yeah, on the outside looking in, watching the game, it did not feel like somebody would
hit shots. I mean, it's like even that. It's like, okay, if we say, what do we want to see out of Kevin Huerter? It's can you make threes? And he made his threes. And I'm looking at it here. He was a minus 21 in the minutes from the start of the fourth quarter through the 5-minute, 30-second mark of the fourth quarter. So really, he was a minus 8 and he was a minus 21 as LeBron went absolutely nuclear. For what it's worth, too, DeMar DeRozan was on the floor for all 6 of those minutes, and he was a minus 21 as well.
There you go. There you go. We continue the conversation on the other side, and we're going to open up the phone lines. 916-339-1140. Are you worried about the Kings already? Where is your panic meter at? We got some texts that we're going to read as well. And we get into some of the positives so far through the first 2 games. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives from the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco! Bob Ball, George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
The 49ers play on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento State football this Saturday at 6 versus Portland State. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Model year end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
(925) 2 close games against probable playoff teams. Not worried. Win by 20 tonight. It will be all good. Someone else said from the 916, also love the fact that they have a defensive-minded coach on a team that seems to be all offense. They say the lack of D at forward has been an issue since last year. I don't know why this team didn't see it. Everybody and their mom does. I mean, I feel like the average person can figure this out. I have no idea why McNair is trying to fit a square into a round hole. Well, he got asked about it, and he simply said, well, teams are going to have to adjust to playing us, right? And really, I think that was more so saying, if we're going to hopefully score, enough points to blow people out of the building, and it hasn't really happened yet. But it hasn't been all bad. Chris, you have some positives so far through the first 2 games, and we will discuss if there are any others as well.
Yeah, I've really liked how DeMar has played through 2 games, just in general, especially as there's questions of, what it would look like offensively, not just for him, but for the team in total. You just look at his raw numbers, and really impressive. 24.5 points per game, 2 steals per game. He shot at 53% from the field. And I swear I was told that DeMar DeRozan couldn't shoot from the perimeter. He's shooting 40% right now on, I believe, 2.5 threes per game. And granted, only through 2 games so far. But really, I thought on Saturday it was by far his best game, even though it wasn't in clutch moment per se, the exact definition of clutch points. I thought his I don't know if they counted. He had 3 long shots. Right. I'm pretty sure that one of them had his foot on the line, so they might have counted it as 2 threes and a long 2. But his shots in the fourth quarter, to me, kept the Kings breathing, kept them with a pulse in that fourth quarter. And you just kind of see that he has a certain level of just confidence and hey, get out the way and I got this. And I think this Kings team desperately needs it. And I do kind of feel like DeMar is just going to have some nights where he's going to put on a cape and he's going to play like a superhuman. And I think I've seen some of it in these first 2 games, but just overall, especially with him still getting integrated into the offense and into the swing of things, I think offensively it's looked pretty smooth for DeMar, and I think it's only going to look better as he gets more and more comfortable and figures out what spots and how to get to those spots. And also some of the assist stuff, like he's still really, really low in terms of assists per game, 2.5 per game so far. I think that's going to be the part of his game that's just going to grow. Maybe he stops scoring as much and starts looking for others, but I just think in general it's looked about as good as what you could have hoped from a Kings perspective so far through 2 games.
Yeah, and I know we're going positives here, Chris, but I think another reason, I don't know if worried is the right word, but that 21-0 run, that to me is exactly what we thought adding DeMar DeRozan to the fold. And I can chalk it up as transition and Kings still trying to figure things out. But that to me is exactly why DeMar DeRozan was brought in, to kind of stop the bleeding a bit, to keep things like that from happening. So again, it happened. It was against the King. They hadn't beat the Kings in a very long time. So they had a lot working for them. And the Lakers just look good right now. So that's part of it. But the hope is that moving forward, you get to 10-0 run, you get DeMar to the line or something to just stop the bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, that's where, Mike Brown ideally calls a timeout, so it's not a 20-0 run. You can maybe set something up. But I will say DeMar also did have a couple moments. I don't think it was during the 21-0 run, but the Lakers had a big run, and then DeMar gets fouled and on his patented mid-range jump shot and goes to the line for two and hits both of them. He did do it. He just didn't do it in the biggest run of the game, and I do think that Mike Brown deserves some of the flack for that, for not calling a timeout and stopping that before it gets to 21-0. But yeah, I mean, I think ideally DeMar is there to stop those things. And, ultimately I think that you just hope that he can do it, and that hopefully the Kings can be on the right side of a 21-0 run. I think Keegan has been, to me, a positive so far, as we talked about in the preseason. His numbers offensively, specifically, like how much more could they go up? He makes this leap from 12 points a game in his rookie season to 15 in his second year, but loses some of the efficiency. You wonder, what is it going to look like in year 3? Well, so far it's looked just like he's on the same trajectory that he was with the year 1 to year 2 jump. Looks like from year 2 to year 3, granted, of course, through 2 games so far, has looked like he's made a similar leap, going from 15.2 per game last year, and through 2 games so far, Keegan's at 18.5 per game, 7.5 rebounds. We saw him get a double-digit rebound game the other day, which is going to be huge this season because it can't just be Sabonis getting rebounds. And the big thing is Keegan reverting back to where he was beforehand from perimeter in terms of three-point efficiency. Last season, Keegan fell from 41% down to 35%. This season, he's right back up at 41.2% through 2 games and on 8.5 threes per game. So he's getting them up high volume, and he's still knocking it down at about as high as a percentage as you could ever want. Defensively, I don't necessarily think that it's looked like he's taken a leap, but I think you still see a lot of the defensive effort that you saw last year from Keegan. But more specifically, offensively, it looks like Keegan. I won't necessarily say that this is going to be a leap, because I want to see it more from more than 2 games. But I just think so far, again, there was fear that DeMar's coming in would really stunt Keegan's development. At the very least, we can say that is an overblown worry.
No, that has not been an issue so far at all. And watching them play, I don't really know how it would be, because, again, it seems like they're starting to carve out Keegan's lane, right? It would be if, we want Keegan to handle the basketball and do this and do that, then sure, that would be an issue. But I think that, and maybe that's what people thought that the path was for Keegan. Yeah. Neither of us thought that. No. So if Keegan is just going to be an elite, I compare him. If he can be a Klay Thompson-esque type player, then adding DeMar DeRozan was never going to bother that. But if you were somebody that thought Keegan was going to be a Kawhi or somebody like that who needed the basketball a lot, then sure. But neither you nor I, we were ever in that camp. No. So it's just that's fine. And you have one more, it looks like.
Yes. Also to mention with Keegan, the shot distribution. Keegan had 11 on Saturday, 11 shots. DeMar 12, Sabonis 14, Monk 14. De'Aaron had 20. So again, no one's really getting forgotten in the offense. I think some nights there's going to be people who just kind of fall by the wayside because someone's got the hot hand. But so far, very even shot distribution. And the last and final one, Malik Monk, and not even necessarily that Malik looks like he's at a different level, but I think it's just important that Malik is playing exactly like how he was playing last year. His numbers from this season, 15.5 points per game, 4.5 assists. Last season, 15.4 points per game, 5.1 assists. And he's hit shots at a higher percentage this year so far. Again, only through 2 games. But I think, again, as there's concern that maybe DeMar's got to step on somebody's toes here, there's somebody that there's going to be some redundancy. Of course, like you said, we'll talk about Keon Ellis a little bit later. He's probably the one that's felt it the most. But Malik Monk, in-game action, has looked the exact same as he did pre-injury, and that's just not a given. It's not a guarantee. Right. And with this team adding such a big offensive piece, there's legitimate question that Malik wouldn't be the same guy, or at least wouldn't fill the same lanes that he was filling last year. You look at the numbers, and so far he has been exactly what he was last year. So I think that's a massive, massive positive.
Yeah, I'm on record. I was worried, right? And it's only been 2 games, but so far it looks like Malik is still going to be as necessary as ever with the Sacramento Kings. You can always throw Sabonis in there as well, Chris. Of course. And that's just a given on against the Lakers, Sabonis had his 59th career triple-double, and he's now tied with Larry Bird for 10th most triple-double in NBA history. So he kind of just is a given there as far as somebody that's always going to get it done every single night for the Kings. We got the final call. What a wacky world we live in, or a topsy-turvy world where the Lakers are celebrating beating the Kings as if they just won the whole darn thing. Well, we know they're used to those Mickey Mouse parades. Blame pie as well. Are you putting some pie or slices with Mike Brown? How much of the percentage goes with DeMar DeRozan? How much goes with one Monty McNair? Stiles and Watkins, Sac Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
With the cooler seasons upon us, Advanced Infusion Center remains focused on your health and comfort. Whether you're dealing with a chronic illness or in need of an IM or IV therapy, we provide tailored treatments to meet your unique needs. Our caring team is here to make sure your experience is safe, comfortable, and stress-free. With convenient locations in Sacramento and Yuba and flexible scheduling, you can easily access the care you deserve. Explore Advanced Infusion Therapy today. Visit advancedinfusion.com for compassionate care right where you need it. Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
The presidential general election is November 5th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019. At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
'em. Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Minutes. We are giving away UC Davis football 4-pack, 4 tickets, and 1 parking pass. That's in 40 minutes. From the 916. I do love the Carter pick. Can't wait for him to get healthy. Just feels like they need someone other than Keegan to D up forward. Seems way too obvious. That is from Mark. So as we get into this blame pie, Chris, and I think the blame pie might lead us into the Keon Ellis conversation. Really, I mean, the people that I have, and we'll get that final call from the Lakers here as well. Mike Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Monty McNair. That is who I have on the blame pie, and I just felt like I had to put a player, and DeMar DeRozan is the newest player. So those are the 3 that I have. We can add some as well, or other. 916-339-1140. Let's hear from you. But first, let's get that call, because the Lakers, they won the championship. Apparently, they won the whole thing. Let's
in-season tournament, right?
In-season tournament. Where's the champagne? Pop the bottles.
Oh, my gosh. And they got the streamers coming down like
What
the
is
Dodgers.
this, Game 7?
Just won the pennant. You got to understand, this is Anthony Davis' first win against Domantas Sabonis.
It is.
So they're going to celebrate out here. 131, 127.
Man, shout out Drapes.
Drapes is so funny.
Yeah. Good on Drapes for calling that.
People were trying to give him flack, not just the broadcast in general, like, because that ended up going like super viral at that moment. They Bleacher Report posted it. I think Sports Center posted it. People were like, "Oh, Kings fans so salty, blah, 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 blah. Y'all upset. You got rammed by the King, all that stuff." And
dropping streamers,
but there's nobody. But that's the thing, though.
The Warriors also, I will say, drop confetti after every win.
Oh. So
is this new that the Lakers are doing?
I don't think so.
We wouldn't know because they never won. They never beat the Kings.
You know,
I would hate to be an employee has to clean up confetti after every. You're just praying for a loss.
That sounds like something a bad team would do.
It sure does. Yeah. Or at least you would get made fun of for doing it. It's probably actually something that only a good team can do, because bad teams, if the
so much.
But I'm just saying,
the Kings of
logistically,
old did it. You know.
Yes, but you'd only be cleaning for about 10 games.
That's why, I mean, I'm not suggesting everyone take a beam, but beam is accident free. You don't got to clean up no messes when you got a beam.
That's true.
Someone in the chat said that when the beam gets lit tonight, it might smell like starting your heater for the first time in the winter.
I just got that smell last night.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Other question is, what happens when the LeBron James of the station runs into the real LeBron James of the NBA?
They just do the Spider-Man meme and they just point at each other.
That's it.
There you go. All right. Let's get into this blame pie here, Chris.
Okay.
There's Mike Brown. Like I said, I had to put a player. I wanted to put a player, so I put DeMar DeRozan, and he's the new guy, and Monty McNair. These first 2 losses, I'm not really putting it on DeMar DeRozan, and we can add other players as well, but I'm giving a decent amount to Monty McNair, and I'm giving a decent amount to Mike Brown, even though the Mike Brown thing I have more grace for, because we're still getting used to everything. He's getting used to DeMar DeRozan. But this is what I was talking about Chris, during the roundtable. I mean, so they had a bunch of guys play, but Len gets 9 minutes, McLaughlin 3 minutes, Trey Lyles 19 minutes. Like you said, right now he's kind of trying to figure out who's going to be able to give me something, but I'm giving Mike Brown I'm giving him grace for that, but I'm taking away some of that grace because Keon Ellis playing 11 minutes between the first two games, did not play in the second game. That's just unacceptable, especially for a team that can't get stops. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he threw Doug McDermott in there game one in the start of the fourth quarter, but didn't think to at any point throw in Keon Ellis is inexcusable. I don't think there's any good explanation for it. Like, even if it's saying, oh yeah, we meant to get Keon in there, but somebody was just playing so well, it was tough to me, there's no excuse. Like, Keon, like you said, is their best defender. It's not even like he's a liability offensively. There's really no excuse for keeping him off the floor completely. And it's not helping you with the LeBron problem at all. It's not helping you with the Anthony Davis problem at all. But if anything, it maybe can, because it maybe
Austin
can shift
Reeves
some guys
16.
around you. Yeah, Austin Reeves had a good
D'Angelo
game.
had 16.
Rui Hachimura for a minute was giving
18.
them problems. I just think that, yeah, I mean, I put a good bit on Mike Brown, and that's not even necessarily meaning that it has to be some big statement about his coaching ability or anything like that, but he's even admitted that he just doesn't have a feel for this roster. And, that's a problem. Like, that is on the coach to figure out the rotations. And I think the rotations have been suspect, to say the least. I don't know what percentage to put it, but I would put it probably near 50%, if not over 50% for Mike Brown. And, I do think Monty McNair deserves at least a quarter of the blame because, Mike Brown, you got to use the ingredients you have to figure it out. But yeah, I think the ingredients haven't been the most ideal, but I think there have been enough to figure something else out to have the team not necessarily look that bad defensively. 131 points is just inexcusable. So I'm going to give Monty about 25% of it as well. And if I were to give a player some grief for a minute here, I have not, specifically Saturday. And
I know what you're going to say.
Maybe it's because, I was surrounded by friends and, it was a little bit more of an open forum than what maybe I'm watching Kings games with, but I could not stand watching De'Aaron Fox on Saturday. I could not do it. I don't know what was going on. I saw somebody say it's an epidemic in the NBA. These speedy, get to the rim, athletic freaks, they're settling for threes. I don't know what it is. I guess it's this new NBA, but there's no reason why De'Aaron Fox needs to take 10 threes. I thought we were done with that. The amount of pull-up threes that he took, it's just insane.
And he said he didn't want to he didn't want pull-up threes like that.
What are we doing? What are we talking about? And so it was really frustrating. Like, there was multiple times on Saturday where I verbally said, when was the last time, forget making a shot, but when was the last time we took a shot at the rim? And that just shouldn't happen. When De'Aaron Fox is on the floor, you should get a shot at the rim every 3 possessions, or at least get De'Aaron to get to the rim every 3 possessions. But the amount of settling for threes, it was disturbing. And I know De'Aaron already has, he had his hand banged up. He banged knees with Dante DiVincenzo in game 1 too. But if you're De'Aaron Fox, you have to get to the rim. That's your MO. That's where your bread is buttered. You can take as many threes as you want, as long as the first, I don't care, 8 shots that you have are you getting to the rim and trying to force the defense to collapse. It's the same story as if Sabonis is taking threes. I have to say the same thing about De'Aaron. You're letting the defense win if De'Aaron Fox is taking that many threes.
Yeah, and De'Aaron Fox, 3 for 10 from three-point range. He talked about not necessarily taking less threes, but he wanted to take more threes, catch and shoot.
Yep.
Okay, not off the dribble. And I feel like you get into the heat of the moment and you're thinking, okay, I'm trying to play hero ball a little bit. But yeah, De'Aaron Fox, look, 10 assists. He still had a double-double. Really like the way he's distributing the basketball.
That's a good point.
But just a couple bad decisions there. 28 points on the night. And that's just not going to work. I think the other thing, Chris, is you can have 28 points and you have 10 assists, but the brother had 6 turnovers. And when you turn the ball over 6 times and not timely, there's never a good time for a turnover, but there's also a very bad time for turnovers. Yes. And that's what De'Aaron Fox seemed to have as well. So we're going to come down his road a bit because he is the head of the snake. He's the leader. But they kind of just had a turnover issue, all of them. They had 14 turnovers. Sabonis had 2. DeRozan had 2. Keegan Murray had 1 and he barely dribbles. Kevin Huerter had 1 and he barely dribbles. So it's just sloppy basketball. They had opportunities to win, and that's why all numbers aren't created equal. When you see 127, it looks great, but when you're doing things to keep the other team in the game, That's an issue. I have this here, Chris. Oh, go ahead.
I've got a funny number for you, too, while we're talking about things that they're not doing. Remember before the season, Mike Brown told us this great story of how they're focusing now on offensive rebounds because Monty essentially said offensive rebounding is a way to get your points per possession up or your offensive rating up. Well, the Sacramento Kings are dead last in the NBA in offensive rebounds.
Last
4.5 offensive rebounds per game. The next closest is Phoenix at 5.3. The 27th highest team is the Pacers at 7.7. So they're almost three. They're almost 3 offensive rebounds worse than the 28th highest number.
So that whole thing went out the window.
They're not doing it. I don't know if they're going to give up on it totally, but it's out the window right now. I hope that they can actually get back to it because it is a really good idea, but they have not executed it even a little bit. For what it's worth, reference-wise, the Hornets lead the NBA at 17.3.
Well,
again, the Kings are at 4.5.
Real quick, Chris, wouldn't we have to also keep in mind how the Kings are shooting because there's more offensive rebounds when you aren't shooting the basketball well?
Sure, yeah. And, they're shooting 36% from 3.
Right. Not lighting it
48%. I mean, that should lead to more offensive rebound opportunities, and they're just not getting it.
Let's continue the conversation about Keon Ellis, and we keep the blame pie going. We got your texts, we got your Sac Chat, and your calls coming up. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the 3. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Rob Thomas has special intimate performance.
I don't wanna be lonely no more. I don't wanna have to pay for
benefiting Sidewalk Angels Foundation. One night only, Saturday, November 16th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Rob Thomas.
And make you miserable. Try the quick drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage, breathe easy.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunkt Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on 2 wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
There's no need to be scared of auto maintenance this October. Your local Jiffy Lube has just the treats you need without the tricks, like fast oil changes or wiper blades for the upcoming rainy season. Serving greater Sacramento area customers since 1984 with over 30 convenient locations to choose from. Open daily, early at 7:30 and open past 6 p.m. at most locations. Just visit jiffylube.com to find a location near you and valuable coupons to save money too.
The shot clock is ticking and your home team is driving up the court. But don't miss your chance to score big at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Save on a new Accord, HRV, Ridgeline, or the all-new Prologue before the buzzer sounds on year-end deals. Don't get benched by high prices. Slam dunk your savings today.
anytime, anywhere. It's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number 1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
15 minutes away from UC Davis football tickets giveaway, 4-pack, taking on Northern Colorado, also parking pass. That's at 12. If you're listening on the Sacktown Sports app, want to switch on over, you want a chance to win those tickets. A couple chats from the Sack Chat, Chris. And by the way, yeah, you can switch over to AM or YouTube if you are on the app and you want a chance to win these UC Davis football tickets. We'll get you the weather. Make sure that you're all prepared, but it should be a nice fall day for you. And if you are listening and didn't know that we were rocking and rolling on YouTube, you can join the Sack Chat, be a part of the community. Some great people in there. We've met a couple of them, and it's great stuff. But speaking of the Sack Chat, couple notes I wanted to read off, Chris. This is from Gilbert Hernandez. 3 takeaways so far. Defensive rotations look better. Herter is expendable and will be traded if possible. And Domas is way more aggressive offensively. Those are Gilbert's 3 takeaways.
Okay. Yeah. I think they've looked good for sure. I mean, it's a little bit tough to still figure out because it does feel like they're going away from their offense too, that they were running so much last year. It feels like there's been a lot less dribble handoffs and a lot less just kind of getting on the bike and doing what you know, and feels like it's been a lot more isolation. So I feel like, they're still figuring each other out, but I think for the meantime, it's looked about as good as what I would have thought through 2 games so far.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. The defensive rotations, it's just going to be a work in progress. Yeah, I'm not really quite sure that Kevin Herter is expendable right now, and it might sound crazy coming from me just simply because you need guys that can hit shots, and it's tough because you can't make that comparison because Keon Ellis didn't even get any time. So I think it remains to be seen whether or not Kevin Herter will be expendable. Nobody's trying to run Kevin Herter out of town. It's just a matter of trying to get this team to its optimal performance, and right now that isn't it, and offense isn't the problem. So the thing is, you guys sit here, and I know Katie says it, I think every broadcast, talking about Kevin Herter's deflections, and I'm not saying that that's anything to sneeze at. All I'm saying is, you got to find a way to get stops, and you got to find a combination that's going to get you stops. And that's what Keon Ellis does. That's his bread and butter, and he can shoot the basketball. So I think that maybe some of this is Kevin Herter has not been shy, right? That first game, it took him a little bit to get that first shot up, but now he hasn't been shy. Maybe that's it, Chris, and maybe I'm just grabbing at tea leaves, but maybe it's a matter of Keon Ellis not shooting the basketball enough, because that really ticks off Mike Brown. Because I don't think it's about the defense. I think it might be about Keon. If you're going to pass up these shots, then there's no point in us having you in here. You have to shoot in the flow of the game. Another one, Chris, from Patrick Donaldson. It's stupid to even talk about the panic meter after 2 games. Bottom line is Keegan had a chance to win at the buzzer in the first game, and the Kings nearly won on the road against the Lakers. Okay, well, I would say this, Patrick. Number one, it's not about how the games ended. It's how you got there. So I think you say a blanket statement like that, and I agree with you, or that is the reality of what happened. But Keegan had to take a double pump buzzer beater, okay, because they couldn't stop Anthony Edwards and they couldn't stop Julius Randle, and the Minnesota Timberwolves went on 11-0 run, and the Kings blew. It was a 10-point lead, so nothing crazy, but the Kings blew a lead. That's number one. All right, the second one, you almost won against the Lakers. Okay, well, again, let's say the whole context. They were going a 21-0 run to start the fourth. Nobody could stop LeBron. There was just nobody on that roster. Okay, so that's a problem. So I'm not saying that you have to panic, but I definitely don't think it's stupid, because these aren't even 2 of the same type. They're similar types of losses here. So if they were 2 random losses, that's one thing. But these are 2 teams. And if you're saying against the Lakers, so are we saying the Lakers are a good team now? Because we spent this whole time talking about how the Lakers aren't a good team. They're playing really well. So I hear what you're saying, Patrick, but you got to give context. And without giving context, if you want to feel good about it, fine, leave out the context. But the reality of the situation is there's a reason how the Kings got into these situations.
Yeah, I just think it is. I don't know if I'll say stupid, but I think it is a waste of time to be super concerned right now. It's just only 2 games, and I think Patrick's point is that it hasn't, it's not like the Kings have gotten absolutely blown out, demolished, and look like they are not competing against two of the better teams in the NBA. And I just think through 2 games, it's just not worth your time to worry. You're not going to get an answer either way. If the Kings were 2 or 3-0 right now, it wouldn't mean that the Kings are, all confirmation of what we talked about all offseason and things like that. And it should be on the other token. Just because they're 0-2 doesn't mean that the season's over. Doesn't mean that if you had any expectations, you should now readjust expectations. It's just an 0-2 stretch against 2 quality opponents that I think you would definitely, in an ideal world, like to be able to secure those wins. But at the end of the day, it's not like they were uncompetitive and looked like a joke of a team. They had opportunities, even with all the things that we are talking about. I think Patrick's point is they still had opportunities to get the results. And so if we're having all of these concerns and they're still very, very much in the chance of getting the result, then what are we going to say, or how should we feel when this team actually starts playing well? I think that's where Patrick's kind of getting at.
Yeah, no, I'm totally on board with seeing what happens tonight and then moving forward.
Sure. But even tonight, if they lose tonight, again, it's not going to be fun, and we're going to have to criticize them tomorrow, but it doesn't mean that the Kings aren't going to meet expectations this year.
Okay, so then at what point would you be nervous?
Not 3 games into the season. That's what I'll tell you. I mean, it's just, what's the point of getting, how are we supposed to determine the outcome of the season through 3 games is all I'm saying.
No, I more so just look at it as every game matters. And when you look, especially in the West.
No, I mean, it definitely matters, but it's just not, again, drawing conclusions is the thing that drawing massive conclusions is the thing that I'm just saying we shouldn't do.
Yeah, look, last season, the Kings, one thing they didn't do, all right, as far as the record was concerned, they just couldn't go on a run. Okay, so the last couple years here, you had the Beam Team season who went on a crazy run. Then you had they started 0-4. Well, they made up for it.
Yeah, immediately.
Last season, they never made up for anything, right? I mean, I think by the time we got to, I think it was December, Chris, and the first round was cooked. Okay, or excuse me, the number 1 seed was cooked. It was okay. Well, now we can still get the 4 seed, and then a couple weeks went by. We can still get the 5 seed, and how quick things happen in the NBA. That's why I'm more on the side of, you're going to blink your 10 games in, you're going to blink your 20 games in, and all of a sudden, if you're 4 or 5 games back of the 1 seed, you got to go on a run. And I have no clue if they're going to be able to do it. They have not. Like I said, they didn't do it last season. They did it the season before. The more games you lose, it's just math. You have to make up for it. And the Kings were not able to make up for it last season. That's all I'm going off of.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we can be concerned if they start to lose to some of these really, really inferior opponents, undoubtedly. I mean, that's when you start to readjust your expectations and things like that. But no, I mean, yeah, if they aren't looking good through 10 games of this season, that's where you can start to really have concerns. Okay. But to me, I mean, even it could be 8 games, it could be anything, but they're starting to play opponents where we should know what the outcome of these games should be. And that's really where you can start to draw conclusions, in my opinion. I mean, you can go off the rails after 1 game, but I just feel like until you get a good scope of really what the team's going to look like, and you also have to think of the adjustments they're going to make too. Like this, how many times, if we were to look at the starting lineup from game 1 and look at some of the stats from game 1 of last year, I'm sure we would find some things to be like, wow, I forgot that they, really were going all in on Chris Duarte from game 1, and he played 15 to 20 minutes. And that just looks so insane knowing the rest of the context of the season. I just think we need things to play out a little bit more before people start freaking out. And I will say I'm proud of Kings fans in general, because I would think that a lot of Kings fans after 2 games and a loss to the Lakers would be starting to really freak out. And I think in the Sac chat and the text that you've read, I think that Kings fans have actually been pretty level-headed about the situation so far. And even after the first game, we didn't have a ton of people out here freaking out saying, oh my gosh, same stuff as last year. Of course, they exist here and there, but I think for the most part, Kings fans have done a good job of staying measured.
Well, I honestly, I think last season is a part of that. Sure. I think that just coming off a beam team season, nobody wants to everyone is more wait and see than they were coming off of the beam team season. The The 916, did any guards kill us? Who was Ellis supposed to stop? LeBron, AD? Ellis is not the answer. He is just a different look. It's two games, calming thoughts. That's from Esteban. Yeah, well, like I said, D'Angelo Russell is normally awful against the Kings, all right? And this was a different version of the Kings. D'Angelo Russell had 16 points. Austin Reeves had 16 points. I think Keon Ellis would have been able to help there. Okay, both those guys combining for 32 points on top of AD and LeBron going off. So to me, you're not going to win a game. You're not going to lose a game and tell me that Keon Ellis wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah,
in some capacity. Would he have stopped LeBron? No. Okay, well that's a Monty McNair thing because there's nobody, and that's an NBA thing. He's been doing it for over 20 years. So we're not even counting the LeBron thing, and we're not even counting Anthony Davis. But you've watched Keon Ellis play. You know the little things that Keon Ellis is able to do that go beyond just straight up mano a mano. This isn't the playground. This isn't the YMCA. You know that Keon Ellis can make things happen, and that's why he earned his playing time that he did last season. The 530 has something to say about the Kings needing a better bench, but we will answer that on the other side. We also have our giveaway for UC Davis. What is it? Nate, what are their colors? Is the gold?
It's gold and blue, yeah.
Like
gold and
navy?
blue, like Nate's new hairdo. If you're on YouTube, you can see it in the back, or you can close your eyes like what I'm doing.
There's no
Stiles
blue.
Watkins, Sac Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Robinhood is introducing forecast contracts so you can trade the presidential election. Through Robinhood, you can now trade financial derivatives contracts on who will win the U.S. presidential election, Harris or Trump, and watch as contract prices react to real-time market sentiment.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and, of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
I think the dining room table is one of the most important pieces of furniture in a home. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa for Naturewood Home Furnishings. The dining room is not only where families share meals prepared with love for relatives and guests, but also where the warm conversations remind us why those around our table are so important to us. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is offering more than 150 new dining tables during their in-stock dining sale. All dining room furniture is on sale, including tables, chairs, hutches, and buffets. You can choose from casual to formal and in between. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings so when that doorbell rings and your company is waiting, you can be proud to seat them around your new dining room with the distinctive pieces of furniture that you'll love for their individuality today and you'll treasure for memories you'll have for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? You were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Fall's right around the corner, and there's no better way to experience nature and everything that Northern California has to offer than in a Jeep. And right now, it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And they've got the deals and selection for you. From sales to service, they're going to prove to you why they deserve your business. Their GM, Chuck Dean, he has this talent of not only getting you the best deal in town, but he also is able to build an inventory that other dealers are jealous of. SacSuperstore.com and located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports. Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Time for the giveaway. UC Davis football is back in action this Saturday. And right now, we're looking for caller number 2. Got to be quick. Caller number 2. Caller number dos, because the Kings are 0-2. Caller number 2 to score our Stiles and Watkins family 4-pack and parking to check out the Aggies hosting Northern Colorado this Saturday, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com. Looking for caller number 2. I'm pulling up the weather here, so you know what you're getting into. Saturday, a high of 64. So that's football weather.
Yikes. That is football weather.
That
is really football weather.
Cloudy and 64. Then the sun returns on Sunday. We're in the 70s next week. But yeah, definitely a cooler week this week. But Saturday.
About time. It's almost November.
That's right. Saturday, get you, a light jacket, some light work. Go out there and check out the old Aggies taking on Northern Colorado. Looks like Nate may have found our winner, caller number 2. Got to be quick. So, Chris, this is what the 530 had to say.
Okay.
Do the Kings need a better bench between players 8 to the end of the bench? The starter minutes are concerning. Now, after game 1, Coach Mike Brown said he didn't want to play his starters those crazy minutes, right? What did they play on Saturday? Keegan Murray, 40 minutes. DeMar DeRozan, at 35 years old, 37 minutes. Domantas Sabonis, 37 minutes. De'Aaron Fox, 41 minutes, Chris. That is, and Kevin Huerter, 26. But 40, and 2 37s, yeah, that is not sustainable, I don't think, at all. And I know this is a fairly young team besides DeMar DeRozan.
Led the NBA in minutes last year, DeMar.
I don't like that. Yeah. I don't necessarily like that. They have to find some minutes somewhere. And I'm not trying to do the panic thing. I just feel like you're going pretty hard in the paint right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit tough, especially, I mean, I think Keon, obviously, as we talked about, is somebody who definitely deserves minutes, and that adds one more to your rotation. I do kind of feel like Doug McDermott at some point, not that he would have helped out yesterday, in Saturday's game, but I do think those two are players that I expect to see off the bench. We did see a little bit of Jordan McLaughlin, but not really enough to get any sort of sense of how he's fitting in with the roster. I think that they have it. It's just, again, Mike Brown hasn't really experimented much. And I do think you do need It's tough. It's really tough when you're playing good teams. Like, you do have to, especially when you don't know your roster, you're going to go for the guys that you know and you trust.
Yeah.
And I just think that, this next week with the upcoming opponents being a bit weaker, I'm excited to see what the bench looks like. Like, to me, these are all bench games here. Like, yeah, DeMar and the starters should definitely be able to outclass the other team's starters, but I think this should hopefully, and the reason why I hope that some of these games are blowouts is so that Mike Brown can give these bench guys an extended run and get a good idea for who likes to play together. And really just in general, the players that he has on his team get a better feel for what they can bring this team. Because I think that when you're playing two good opponents, you don't really have the luxury of wasting. I mean, you could argue, and I argued that in that first game, that little 4-minute Doug McDermott stretch could have lost, or you could argue did lose the Kings that first game. And I just think that that's what he's trying to avoid, essentially, is just, hey, these are really tough opponents, and I'm going to go with the guys that I know give us a chance instead of potentially losing the game just to test some little small rotation here.
Well, yeah, and that's the issue, right? That's why the minutes are like this, because
these are playoff minutes.
Yeah, Mike was trying to get a W.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it didn't end up like that for them. But yeah, I will give him this. He's going for it. He's going for it. So I think the problem is you either don't go for it, you work with your rotations and you get an L, or you go for it and get the W. When you go for it and then don't get the W, that's where people are going to say, okay, so you don't know your rotation and you don't even have wins to kind of look. Because you could say the same thing, and I have it right here. You could say the same thing about the Lakers. LeBron played 34 minutes, and I don't even know if they want Anthony Davis playing 38 minutes. But again, this to me speaks to how important the beginning of the season is. The Lakers are now 3-0, and they're probably thinking, hey, we front load these W's, hopefully, and then towards the end, we're okay with, if we get, nobody had the Lakers, and I'm not putting them there, but the Lakers are okay with anything from a 4 to a 6 seed. So they're probably thinking throughout the course of the season, if we have to front load LeBron and AD's minutes to put us in a good position and then chill out towards the end, maybe we drop from a 4 to a 6, got to stay out of the play-in, and then LeBron turns it back on in the playoffs. New coach, but it's the same identity. The Lakers don't have the horses to be a 1 or 2 seed, and they know that. I think the Kings, they do have those horses, but you don't want to let them out the stable that soon because, the 41 minutes, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have it, and I kind of wonder exactly how those minutes get distributed because, with McLaughlin only playing 3 of them, it's
Keon not playing.
Pretty much feels like it's De'Aaron, and then when De'Aaron's out, it's Malik as the point guard. And, I don't necessarily disagree with it. It worked for a long stretch last year, but I don't know, man. Yeah, it feels like De'Aaron playing 41 minutes is just too much. And, I think ideally, you would like to get a lot more of your bench involved and have these guys end up falling somewhere near 35 minutes. And you just have to trust your bench. And I think right now, Mike Brown just straight up doesn't know him, but he also definitely doesn't trust his bench as far as he can throw him. So I don't really know how it gets solved, but I do think or / hope that some easy games can help you at least figure out 1 or 2 guys if you like them, or if you just feel like they would work well with a certain pairing or anything like that.
This is interesting, Chris. I think it might be a good way to put this from the 916. The Kings might suck. They need to make another move. Too much redundancy on this roster. DeRozan will be good, but he doesn't give them what they lack. He's an enhancement to what they already have, which I said I liked it. I didn't like the first part, but I do think the second part, the way they wrote that is interesting. He is a better version of Harrison Barnes, right? Or a better scoring version. He's a better player than Harrison Barnes, but as far as does he bring something different to the table? Yes, from an offensive perspective with the ISOs and the middies, but no from the perspective of, like 916 is saying, somebody that is just a completely different player and going to change what the team looks like. But that's not what they wanted to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've been saying that, though. I think we've been pretty clear about, this team definitely by bringing DeMar in isn't necessarily addressing any sort of their weaknesses, that they're just leaning into strengths and hoping that their strength can be better than the other team's strength. The best thing that we do is going to be better than your best thing. And I think a lot of times on a lot of nights, that'll be good enough. But early in the season, when maybe teams know their identity a little bit more, like you said, the Lakers, they don't have any illusion to think that they have the depth to hang with a ton of teams. They know that they are LeBron and AD deep, and as they will go as far as those two take them. And I think the Kings are still trying to figure out exactly what this team's identity is, and that plays a part in it. I think that they've clearly built this team out to be an offensive juggernaut, and right now they have not been that offensive juggernaut. So I think that they fall a lot more into the team that they were last season than the Beam team that they were the first season. But again, you can throw out the 0-4 start to that season might ring true this season as well, because again, once you figure out who you are and really what you're going to be great at with this unit, I think that's where you take off, and maybe hopefully that's the same parallel with that Beam team season. Is it just kind of took a couple games for you to figure out, okay, what's going to work with us, and then once you figure out what works, you just take it and run with it.
Yeah, the question of, I'm seeing some text come in, Chris, about changing the roster, and we knew or going out and getting somebody. It's some type of trade. Would you say that 10-game mark, because, the trade deadline, we know it's in February, but that doesn't mean you have to wait until February to make a trade, which a lot of GMs seem to not know. And then it's crazy. And, this didn't get done because of a time difference, or one thing didn't get signed and now it's over. Would 10 games be enough? And let's say even if they're 5-5, right? Would 10 games be enough for Monty to say, all right, it's time to start looking? Because this is where I felt like the Nets and teams like that were going to be in a power position, because if you start 5-5, or let's call it 10-10, and the Thunder or whoever, let's say the Lakers stay on this hot start, you're 10-10, first 20 games into the season, you start looking around at the Nets, and Jordy might want to help you out, but Jordy can't give you a discount. Now you're kind of stuck in the same situation where these teams like the Nets and teams that are trying to capture the flag and go for Cooper Flag or Ace Bailey, they say, you can come get your Cam Johnson, you can come get your Dorian Finney-Smith, but it's going to cost you, which has always been my fear in doing this. So do you think it's a 10-game thing, a 20-game thing, to where they start, even if they're not bad, I'm saying, let's say they're 500, but 500, that's not necessarily where you want to be either. At what point do you think they say, all right, we might need to think about moving this thing? And I guess what would that line be?
It can be any moment. I mean, I don't think there is a line. I think it's just Monty's feel, and when he feels like it's the time. It can be 10 games, it can be 5 games, it could be tonight, it could be 2 months from now, it could be the minute before the trade deadline. I mean, I think that you're always, Monty will give you the coach speak, I guess, of hey, yeah, we're always testing the market and kicking around and looking at all our different options, but I think that it takes pressure to make a move like that early in the season. And I think a lot of organizations in general won't want to seem desperate. And to me, that's a move that if you're making it early in the season, you're not trying to hide any sort of desperation. So I think it really comes down to how much pressure it feels like there is on the organization at that moment in time. Does it feel like there's excuses? Did people get hurt? Or was it just lackluster play? I think if it's lackluster play, that probably leads to the quickest timeline to a trade happening. But even then, I think it's more just a feel thing that you have to understand when it really feels like you're about to lose a locker room or maybe even lose a fan base. Because I always say it, when Mike Brown gets his player intros at Golden One Center, it's great. Everybody cheers him, but I've heard way too many coaches go from cheers to boos for multiple nights. And I think that's really where you're going to see potentially this team make a desperation move and make a trade, is if, fans start to voice their displeasure with what's going on. And I think right now that's not happening, but 5, 10, 15 games in, if this team is playing easy opponents and we're still getting the same results, absolutely, you could see people get upset.
Yeah, and when you said that, it reminded me of Malik Monk just talking about how much he hates when the fans boo. And look, it does make me fairly uncomfortable, but I know you spent your hard-earned money. If the product doesn't look right, the product doesn't look right. So look, they get back on the right track tonight, and all's well in Kingsland, but they have to take care of business. We got some double agents that are talking some smack about Kings fans having something to say about the Lakers confetti because the Kings have a beam. We need you to to reveal yourself, okay, you double agents on the text line. We'll tell you what they had to say, then we take a trip around the NFL. Stiles and Watkins, Sac Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento State football this Saturday at 6 versus Portland State. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs.
Picking up, Oscar! Have you heard you can listen to your favorite news podcast ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Enjoy shows like The Daily, Up First, and Consider This, available ad-free on Amazon Music. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free. That's amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
A little over 2 hours down. A little less than 2 hours to go till we hand you over to the drive guys. And we're going to get back into some football because the 1 o'clock hour, we have the Blazers preview for you. We have prop talk, dog segment. Okay, help you win some cheese. Thank you. On a beautiful, beautiful Monday. But I saw this go through when we played the sound from Kyle Draper and Katie Christensen about the Lakers dropping confetti, and we were trying to confirm whether or not this was something that the Lakers always do, but we wouldn't know because the Lakers didn't beat the Kings last season, so there was no reason to drop confetti, whether it was in Sacramento or Los Angeles. This is how the game ended, and Kyle Draper just a bit surprised at the confetti coming down after a regular season win here.
Oh my gosh. And they got the streamers coming down like
what
the
is
Dodgers
this, Game 7?
just won the pennant. You got to understand, this is Anthony Davis' first win against Domantas Sabonis.
It is.
So they're going to celebrate out here. 131, 127.
I would assume that they do it after every game. Chris, you mentioned the Warriors do. We just wouldn't know. We just wouldn't know because the Lakers did not beat the Kings. And I don't know why Kyle Draper and Katie Christensen would be at crypto.com if the Kings weren't playing. So there's no way for us to know that was the case because the Lakers could not beat the Kings. So we played that about an hour ago, and 2 separate texts. I thought it was from the same person, actually from different people. So one is from the 925. And I'm wondering if this 925, are you a double agent? Are you a Warriors fan? You're from the 925. The 925 says, you guys light a laser beam up after wins in Sac. And the 916 says, maybe another double agent, even though they're 916. It is ironic that people were, having some fun with the Lakers. 916, it is ironic from a team that shoots a laser into space after a
Y'all
win.
Are so dumb. Y'all are so dumb. It's crazy. Like, there's a clear difference between shooting a laser into the sky and the fact is that the confetti is directly correlated with winning a championship.
Sure.
Like, people aren't just sending lasers into the sky every time they win a Super Bowl or every time there's a parade or anything like that. Like, it's a different way of, I guess you could argue that it's a different version of confetti, but it's just the fact that it'd be like playing We Are the Champions after every single win. It's just, it doesn't make sense. And it's, what it is, it's directly correlated with winning a championship. And that's what makes it so corny. And that's what makes it frankly unacceptable. You're really only supposed to get that. It doesn't make it special when the confetti falls if the confetti falls after every single win, especially regular season. Like there's just, I don't know, whatever. Go ahead.
Well, I think Drapes was right. I think Drapes was having some fun with the Lakers because there's no way.
Definitely.
It almost sounded like, oh, well, they dropping confetti because Anthony Davis finally beats Sabonis. That was not it. We're just assuming that they must drop confetti after every game.
They do. They also do. I looked it up. They drop. They've been doing it for years too.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make it okay.
And look, maybe there was a little salt there from Mr. Draper and Katie. It was a tough loss.
I'm sort of LeBron James, of the.
But it is also ridiculous.
Like,
it's a joke that a franchise that has won just as much as anybody, with the exception of the Celtics, that they still feel the need to drop confetti. Like, if anything, you should feel like, oh, no, we don't need to drop confetti. Again, confetti is for championships, which we have plenty of. We don't need to drop confetti after every game because we see confetti more than most people do anyway. So that's the joke of it. And go ahead. If you want to throw a jab at the beam, go ahead.
530. They're just jealous because the beam inspires a fan base and other teams are jealous. Streamers are for toddlers' birthday.
Yes.
They're worse than sparklers, aka the lamest firework.
Sparklers are pretty lame. I don't know. They're pretty lame.
Not when you're at the club.
Pretty lame. Pretty lame, It's just, I'm never been, you get to do the Disneyland thing in the sky like you're David Montgomery or something.
Chris, you're telling me your giant birthday cake this weekend wasn't covered in sparklers?
That is what I'm telling you. Yeah, it was just
that's hard to believe.
I know, but you're going to have to believe it. I promise.
Somebody else was bringing up, 530 saying they had a roommate that was a Laker fan and they always have dropped confetti.
Yeah.
Somebody else was bringing up the Lakers, Chris, just real quick on that front. They're 3-0. JJ, when people were complaining, Laker fans, about Darvin Ham and his rotations, everyone seems to love JJ's rotations right now. His actions look great. Dalton Connect has looked pretty darn good as a rookie, relatively speaking. Are you buying the Lakers yet, or is there more that you need to see? When I say buying, saying that they could be a playoff team.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they look great. I mean, just the cohesiveness in which that offense is running. I mean, a lot of the sets that JJ has ran, don't know why you said actions, you were like, oh, his actions have been so good. I mean, the plays that he's been running have been incredible. They get open looks off him. It's why Dalton Connect has looked so comfortable through a couple games. I don't think that they're going to be like an NBA contender by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think they're nearly deep enough, but they're a tough team. And when also the key is they're making shots right now. Like they are hitting threes at a level that they were not hitting them last year. If they can continue to do that, they can definitely be in the mix of the rest of the play-in teams for sure, or like the 4 through 10 teams. They've looked really good, and I do think that honestly, a lot of the credit does go to JJ for putting them together. And honestly, I think a big part of it is they just respect him. It feels like there's an adult in the room that they actually trust. And I think that's honestly pretty hard to do when LeBron's there. I think he just kind of naturally sucks in a lot of the attention and a lot of the power and responsibility. And it actually feels like they have a head coach that is the head coach, and there's no questions about it.
What I think is going to happen is the Lakers are going to find themselves in a position where they're going to be a little too good. They're going to be better than their own good. And what I mean by that is they're going to be maybe as a 4 seed or a 5 seed, and they're going to be stuck in a situation where they want to make a move, but they don't want to ruin what they have going because they're playing so much better than what people expected. So I'm fascinated to see how that whole thing ends, because you go out and you get a Brandon Ingram when you're playing really well, and that messes up things. People are going to say, what do they always say about that the bubble championship? We never should have broken up that team, even though I think they get a little they take that one a little too far. The Dwight Howards of the world, things like that.
The guys who aren't in the NBA anymore,
exactly,
they should have kept us around.
Exactly. So there's so much of we should have kept these guys. I don't know if they have to make a move and if they have to give up somebody. I think the Lakers are going to be stuck in a position to where they want to make a move to get over the top, but they don't want to ruin what they have going. And, that's their problem. Now the 530 is trying to trying to not get under my skin, but you know what you're doing, 530. How good would Dalton Knecht look on the Kings bench right now? Look, but does Dalton Knecht help the issues per se? If people are saying that DeMar DeRozan just made the team better in the way that they already were, I guess I would make the argument, even though I loved Dalton Knecht and they had an opportunity and they didn't say the name, you could say that Dalton Knecht would just add on to what the Kings are already trying to do. But you know I want him on that team, 530. You already know that. Coming up next, we go around the NFL, and we have a Christian McCaffrey update. Might be good for Niners fans heading into the bye week. Stiles Watkins, Sac Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Breathe easy.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
According to Dave Pells, most golfers don't allow for enough break on putts. During your next round, mark your scorecard whether you missed putts above the hole with an A or below the hole with a B. If you have more Bs, add more break until you have an equal number of A and B misses, and you'll make more putts. Ernie L. says bombing the driver on a par 5 might not always be the best strategy. Rather, you should get yourself to your ideal shot distance to the green. So if that's 120 yards, then for a 500-yard hole, you need shots of 200 and 180 yards. There are lots of ways to play a hole. Bobby Jones said a leading difficulty with the average player is that they totally misunderstand what is meant by concentration. They may think they're concentrating when they are merely worrying. Jones and all the great players knew that the game is played in the 6 inches between your ears. If that's your golf to go, I'm Frank LaRosa.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
916-339-1140 if you want to be part of the conversation. You missed out. Nate, who was our winner for the UC Davis tickets?
Douglas.
A
carpet
full
cleaner.
name. Douglas. Are most Dougs Douglas? Is that a thing?
Probably. I would think so.
I think they're this.
Teach me how to Doug. Teach me how to Doug.
Dougie. I think that's what they are.
Yikes.
What's worse, that or my hair?
Oh, man.
It's toss
Pretty
up.
bad.
Toss
That
up.
was pretty terrible.
Yeah. So what are you going to do when it's also, if we're just now joining us and Ashley, we see you and we're going to get your call and then take a trip around the NFL. But Nate came in with a new hairdo and he's kind of doubling it as it was part of his costume, right, for Kim Possible,
Sure.
but he also just has been wanting, it was an excuse to dye. Is that a bleach or a dye? Because bleach to me
burned.
Bleach to me is bleachier than that. Yours is looking
it was
golden.
bleached and then toned by Kayla, so that's why.
Okay.
She wouldn't let me keep it just bleached. It was psycho looking before.
But that's what I expected.
And that's what I wanted. That's why she said, if I'm doing it, you have to do the toner.
So
And I
that
was like,
darkened it?
It made it more natural looking. It looked crazy before.
Oh, to be young.
Like white with like this weird orange hue. I went to Costco like that and I was like, I'm gonna keep this.
You should.
And she didn't
Do you have
let me.
any pictures of the original prior to toner?
Somewhere.
Okay, I need to see those. So
we'll have to see.
I think so. Yeah.
So Nate is double. Yeah, it was not really for the Halloween costume.
Yeah, I just wanted to see I'm trying to reinvent myself, midlife crisis. Like I'm just trying to figure out like who I am.
There is a name for the midlife crisis before the midlife crisis, right before you turn 30. I'm sure.
Well, that was 10 years ago.
I believe it's quarter life.
Quarter life crisis. Thank you, Chris Watkins.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Good math, Chris.
Yeah, I'm the best.
So what are you going to do, Nate? You're just going to grow it out and then cut it when it's time?
I don't think that far ahead, brother. I'm just
Preach.
Yeah, I'm just living life,
Sure.
It was
Joe Burrow,
rough,
man.
It was rough. I showed up at the covering the Niners yesterday, and I see our good friend Kevin John in the parking lot.
Oh, that's
and I go, "Is that the Kevin John?"
The worst person to run into.
He was excited to see it. He went, "Oh," and I was like,
"It's me."
He's like, "So what's this?" I'm like, "Yeah, just I don't know." And then Marsh came in here earlier and went, "Ooh." Made this noise when he saw me. Verlad freaked out. I can't say what Verlad said to me. We have a video of Dave freaking out seeing me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean,
I thought it'd be worse.
bad. You don't look bad. I've
Thanks.
seen worse.
Yeah, I just did it just to do it. I need
In
a
your
little
mind,
spice up.
are you thinking, yeah, I'm crushing this. This is what I
was like, I hope I just look jacked.
Was there an inspo? Like, is there somebody that you saw first that?
Marshall Mathers.
Yeah.
No one's bleaching their hair these days, so not really. I don't think it'd have to be an old
Joe Burrow. That's your guy.
Oh, it was because of Joe Burrow. Yeah.
You look like Joe Burrow now.
Yeah.
Well, that is a nice compliment.
I'm completely lying. 916-339-1140. Before we go around the NFL,
Ouch.
Let's hear from Ashley. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's
That
up,
was
Ashley?
mean.
What you got for us, Ashley?
Not much, but talking about the Kings a little bit. I'm very interested to see how we come out today. Hopefully we don't have any more of those leads that we've been allowing. But one thing that I have noticed is that the Kings are allowing a lot of points a game. And I think that a big reason of that is actually our rebounding. So I'm calling on Sabonis tonight to be active on the glass, to not let Ayton get those opportunities on the boards, because we're actually right now, and I know it's a small sample size, so it's probably not going to stay like this, but you never know. Our rebounding, we're tied for last right now in the NBA in rebounds per game. And I know Sabonis was a tone setter on the glass for us last year, and he's only averaging 10. And part of that is only having 8 the first game. And he had a solid game with 12 in the second game. But we can't be, not defending as well as we are and giving up so many offensive rebounds, second chance points, and not cleaning up on the glass. I think that's a big part of where we're missing and lacking this year so far.
Thanks for the call, as always, Ashley. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Yeah, and that kind of goes into the conversation that we were having on Friday, Chris, with a caller who was a texter, and then they mentioned how we need to talk more about Sabonis's ability to I think it was to pass the basketball, or just score the basketball. And to me, that kind of goes, and this wasn't Ashley's intention, but to me, like you said, eight rebounds first game, 12 rebounds in the second. It's kind of just what Sabonis does. I don't really think we need to call it out too much. I mean, he's a machine. He's a double-double machine for a reason. So I'm not really worried. If there was anybody I was going to call out for rebounds, I don't think it would be Sabonis. It would be some of the other players, right? Keegan Murray had a good rebounding day in the first game, and then he had 4 on Saturday. De'Aaron Fox with 5. Kevin Huerter, that's oddly been his calling card for a bit of it. He only had 2. DeMar DeRozan had 0. So I wouldn't look at Sabonis. I would look at the other guys to say, I'm pretty sure Sabonis is going to do his thing. It's about the other players doing their thing on the glass as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Keegan had double-digit rebounds in one of these games. I think Keegan and Domas are really doing their part, but this is also part of the downside of them playing so small. I mean, they've also played against 2 opponents that you would generally say are bigger than most. I mean, with running AD and his size, as crazy as he is, and then to go against Gobert and Julius Randle, those are also 2 really tough matchups. So I kind of do feel like it's more on the guards to make sure that they're doing their part. And then again, the offensive rebounding front is really where they can make up some ground if they can. Because Mike Brown even said it when talking about the offensive rebounds. It's not even necessarily Domas that's the one that needs to step up. It's the guards that are crashing from the 3-point line on those that need to do better. And to me, the guard rebounding is really what needs to step up. Kevin Huerter's been a good rebounder in his past. De'Aaron's been a decent rebounder in his past too. I think those are the guys that really need to help out on the glass and try and help Sabonis, because it can't just be Sabonis, and it dang sure can't be just Keegan Murray as the only person helping him. I think it's going to take a group effort, and they also have to get some stops. Like you said earlier, Alan, like a big part of rebounding offensively and defensively is offensively. If you're making shots, not a lot of offensive rebounds available, but defensively, they're not stopping anybody. No. So there's not a lot of rebounding opportunities for them to even get.
DeMar DeRozan, 0 rebounds against the Lakers. He had 8 rebounds against the Timberwolves.
Okay.
Keegan Murray, I believe, 4 rebounds against the Lakers, 11 against the Timberwolves. Domantas Sabonis, the quiet 8 rebounds and quietly 1 assist against the Timberwolves. De'Aaron Fox, 2 rebounds against the Timberwolves, and Kevin Huerter, 4 rebounds. So I'm just not really sure where they're going to come from, Chris. The 209 says to Ashley, when your team's biggest player is 6'9", you can get owned on the boards.
Sabonis is 6'11" probably, but yes, everybody else is under 6'9".
Everybody, and he's not gonna. Most nights he's not gonna be the biggest big on the floor, if you will. That's part of it. But again, if DeMar DeRozan 8 rebounds in the first game. So these guys are capable. Keegan Murray 11. These guys are capable. I think that there's just no assumed secondary rebounder on the team. It's just going to have to be by committee. And I don't think the Kings are alone in that regard, but they just have to figure it out. 916, any updates on our rookie coming back? Heard he has been looking good. Our bench has been dreadful minus Malik. It's not going to be, he might be looking good, but that when someone's looking good, most of the time, that means they're on time, right? I mean, if anything, even if they're early, that would still be, and this is not a report or anything like that. If it's January and he's looking really good, okay, then maybe it's December. All I know is he ain't helping anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any updates.
No, nothing to say, the time, like with Brock Purdy.
January.
Right. The timeline has been moved up. There has been nothing like that, 916, unfortunately. So, gonna be kind of a tough stretch for the Kings. But like you keep saying, Chris, the Kings and their upcoming schedule, these are some opportunities for them. Okay, you had a tough game against the Timberwolves, and then you had a tough game against the Lakers. This is a different type of test tonight. Because this is a Blazers team that you lost to last season. All right. You also beat them, but you lost to them. You host the Blazers. Okay. And it was a mini trip. You just went to LA, but the Kings haven't been good hosting a team right after a quote unquote road trip. You got the Blazers, got to take care of business. You go to Utah. All right. you have to take care of business. The Warriors, they finally got their loss because Steph Curry exited the ball game, but they've been beating the brakes off of these teams. They beat the brakes off both of these teams, the Blazers and the Jazz. So you go out, just get the W, sure, but you need to show that you are worlds better than these teams. Kings at Hawks, they had a tough stretch down there, right? I mean, when they went to Atlanta, they had to come back from down big. Then I think they won one of the games. I think they might have lost the other. So that's a game you can't sneeze at. The Raptors, just no excuses, Chris. And then you talked about maybe that Miami hangover, if you will, playing on a Monday. This is where it's good to have some grown-ups in the room because, yeah, that one, it could get you. It could get you. But plenty of opportunities for the Kings to turn this thing around. Then they get the Raptors again after, and they host the Raptors and start a mini homestand there with the Raptors and the Clippers. So plenty of opportunities for the Kings to right the ship.
Plenty. I mean, there's really no excuse. I mean, to me, what is that? 6 games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, these or 7 games even. These next 7 games, I don't think that they should lose more than 2 of them. I really don't. Like Miami, I think is excusable. And then I'll give you one sort of bridge between, the Clippers might be a tougher opponent than you think. Maybe Utah, maybe it is that Atlanta game that you let slip. But to me, the Kings need to go 5-2 over their next 2 games or over their next 7 games in order for me to really feel like, okay, yes, I know I was saying stay calm and everything like that, but that really to me cements that, yes, there's nothing to worry about. They are who we thought they were, and it's unfortunate that the first 2 games weren't any cupcakes. Again, the Warriors, like you just listed up teams. The Warriors have played the Blazers and the Jazz, okay? The Kings have not gotten an opportunity to even have a semi-light opponent yet, only through 2 games. I think let them get some easier opponents, and if they look bad against bad opponents, I think that's a level for concern. But if they're taking care of business against these teams that they should be taking care of business against, I think everybody starts to feel really, really good about where this thing's going.
All starts tonight. We will get back into our Kings Blazers preview in the 1 o'clock hour, but we go around the NFL, including a Christian McCaffrey update that you do not want to miss from Ian Rappaport. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard. I think the dining room table is one of the most important pieces of furniture in a home. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa for Naturewood Home Furnishings. The dining room is not only where families share meals prepared with love for relatives and guests, but also where the warm conversations remind us why those around our table are so important to us. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is offering more than 150 new dining tables during their in-stock dining sale. All dining room furniture is on sale, including tables, chairs, hutches, and buffets. You can choose from casual to formal and in between. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings so when that doorbell rings and your company is waiting, you can be proud to seat them around your new dining room with the distinctive pieces of furniture that you'll love for their individuality today and you'll treasure for memories you'll have for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Ready to pre-game your next big arena event? Head to Beach Hut Deli, a Sacramento tradition for over 40 years where aloha is served daily. They're just steps away from the arena. So whether it's game day or concert night, it's the perfect spot to gather with friends and enjoy amazing sandwiches. And if you're planning a bigger get-together, Beach Hut Deli offers endless catering options too to bring those fresh, delicious flavors to your next party or event. Beach Hut Deli. Good vibes, great food, and epic times await.
The first big sale of the year on the all-new 2025 Silverado is on at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates, every new 2025 Half-Ton LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock at Maida Chevy.
And Maida Chevy has the largest selection of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing lease and some offers. 103124. Source internet search 101724.
When it's cold and rainy outside, Bonnie is leading the way home. Right now, stay warm and cozy with a full furnace tune-up, just $59. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Schedule an appointment today at Bonnie.com.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
Got the Kings Blazers preview coming up here in about 30 minutes. Top stories to get to at 1 o'clock. Then we will preview all things Kings Blazers for you. Get that beam, Monday beam. That'll get rid of your case of the Mondays.
That Monday confetti.
That Monday confetti. That's right. Don't talk about it. Be about it. But now, after a crazy Sunday in the NFL, let's go around the NFL. Around the NFL, Jared Goff. I mean, this is a stat line that would make Jimmy Garoppolo fans blush. Jared Goff throws for 85 yards, and the Titans still lose to the Lions 52-14, Chris. I mean, they've dealt with the injuries. They've dealt with Jameson Williams being Jameson Williams, and they're just beating the brakes off teams. I know the Titans aren't very good. They got Mason Rudolph out there, but still a really impressive victory. Even as a Vikings fan, you got to give kudos to that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying the Lions are the best team in the division all year. I picked them to beat the Vikings. I think that they are absolutely insane, and I think the fact that you can put up 52 points while your quarterback, I mean, just in general, they had David Montgomery threw for a touchdown today. Yesterday, Hendon Hooker got in there. They threw for 61 total passing yards. and they still put up 52 points. Shouldn't be possible, but that's the kind of thing you do if your defense can create some turnovers and put you in some good spots to just score the ball. I mean, good on them. I mean, really, it's what good teams do is they just find ways to win, and the Lions found many different ways to win that game. Didn't even score in the fourth quarter, and they still put up 52 points. They're insane, and to me, I think they're the best team in the NFC. I think they're the team to beat in the NFC.
Yeah, and they have the Packers next week, but Jordan Love struggled, right, with that injury. He ended up leaving the game. We know Malik Willis has played well, but I don't know. I mean, the Lions, they get the 2 games, Chris, with Jamison Williams suspended. They're done with 1.
Crazy.
Next game, they might get the Packers with no Jordan Love.
Yeah, I thought I saw a Jordan Love update too, but I can't find it.
Yeah, well, he's on my fantasy team, so I was paying it very close attention. Yeah, if you're on my fantasy team, you're probably not playing.
Let's see here. This is from Ian Rappaport an hour ago. Jordan Love's MRI came back with some good news. It's a strained groin, nothing major, no surprise. He'll get better every day and do treatment and monitor throughout the week.
Well,
so there you go.
Yeah, those groin injuries, they do tend to just hang around. So we'll see what Jordan Love is able to do. We have some good news as it pertains to Christian McCaffrey. This is Ian Rappaport on the Christian McCaffrey update.
What teams do, they go mostly away for the bye weeks, but the 49ers are planning a bonus practice, which I think a lot of teams do. My understanding is Christian McCaffrey is expected to participate in that bonus practice, which will be the first time we see him, if reporters are allowed, out on the field in a while. And then he has been ramping up. He has been running, as we said, on flat ground, which is a great place to run, much better than in the whirlpool. And I would not be surprised if he is out there November 10th. That has been the target, and he has had no setbacks. So that is a very good thing for Christian McCaffrey.
There you go. Christian McCaffrey, no setbacks. Flat ground might get him back, and
better than the whirlpool.
I know, yeah, like I've never heard that before in my life.
So I'm just still in the camp of we'll see him when we see him. Yeah, you got to buy.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Guerendo has been playing well. You know, a lot of people were calling for. I saw last night social media people calling for Isaac Guerendo to start in front of Mason. They say Mason hasn't really had the same pop.
Yep.
I would probably just say go with Jordan Mason.
Yeah, if Mason's healthy, go with Jordan Mason. It depends how his shoulder's doing. I mean, I think the fact that he's now been pulled out of a couple games with that shoulder in mid-game, kind of a bit concerning. But, yeah, I mean, if Mason's healthy, I would go Mason. And I'm right there with you, Alan. If I'm believe it when I see it with Christian. Like, we heard in the preseason that he was going to be fine if this were a regular season game. We're now going to be in week 10 by the time McCaffrey can potentially step on the field here. Okay. I'll believe it when I see it, and even then, we don't know how much we're going to get of him. You know, I think it's, it's been an interesting season to say the least when it comes to the Niners, but I just think that they, in general, have lost my benefit of the doubt. I do not believe anything they say, and especially with injuries, again, believe it when I see it.
So there wasn't a great slate of games this past week, but there were some great games that came out of them. But the one game that I was very excited to watch, did not think Jaden Daniels was going to play. He does play, and Caleb Williams played well. Both guys played well. But the way this thing ended was one for the ages as the Commanders about to lose the ball game. A Hail Mary attempt like you've never seen to Noah Brown. Here's how it sounded.
Comes down to one last play. And it's going to be getting longer by the second. You're all the way back at the 30-yard line. Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle! It's Noah Brown! Oh, my goodness! This town is going crazy. It's a madhouse in Landover, Maryland. He did it!
There you have it. You had Bears players taunting Commanders fans only to tip the ball up, not down, and land right into Noah Brown's hands. It was great. It was great stuff, Chris. I mean,
terrible call by Romo, though, by the way, to interrupt and just be like, he did it.
He did it.
Great analysis, Romo.
He did it.
Bob Costas could never yet again. I just think it was a really great showing. Caleb, Caleb almost did what he did earlier in this season. Didn't play great and almost got the win, but I just don't know how many times we have to see Hail Marys go wrong for a team to understand how to properly defend them. Mm-hmm. I don't know how teams are still tipping the ball down or tipping the ball up and not just swatting it down. Absolutely embarrassing. And if you're a Bears fan, that's one that's going to hurt for a long time. And if you're a Commanders fan, that might be one of the best moments, if not the best moment in modern Commander history. And obviously tying in the previous history of that organization, that is massive. That is absolutely huge. You already are feeling great with Jaden Daniels and how he's playing so far this season. And then you get a moment like that. That's absolutely crazy. And what do you guys think about some of the names that I've seen for what to call it? I haven't even seen any. So I think it was Peter Schrager wanted to call it Noah's Ark as Noah Brown gets it. The one that I am a massive fan of, and it just rolls off the tongue, the Hail Maryland.
Oh yeah.
Hail Maryland. That's my favorite. Those are the two that I've seen.
Yeah, I like Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark because the ball arcs too.
Right. I mean, that was he threw that thing up.
Okay.
He threw that thing up.
Forget the Hail Maryland.
Oh, I like them both. I like them both.
I like both. 209.
But you got to pick one.
Caleb Williams didn't look good. He had 80 passing yards before the last drive.
Yeah.
I know. I guess I was talking more about the last drive. And then 209 says he was flexing and talking crap. Caleb. All right, last but not least, let's go with this Jameis Winston sound because we have to. We have to. Because Jameis Winston,
in honor of me.
In honor of Nate's cousin or whoever he's trying to look like right now, Marshall Mathers. This is what Jameis Winston had to say after beating the Ravens and eating a W. Here it is.
Not often that you get another opportunity like you have just received in the NFL. What does it mean to lead these guys and what could be the start of what you said is something special moving forward?
Man, it's a white boy from Detroit that I really admire named Eminem. He said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity lasts once in a lifetime. And I know I got a quote, Eminem, he from Detroit, he right up the road, but man, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that the Lord provided me with this opportunity. I'm grateful for my teammates, my coaches, and these amazing fans.
There you go. That's Jameis Winston.
I guess.
I didn't even see. I know his pregame.
Crazy.
Sometimes it's just overload. I know his pregame speech was crazy.
Yeah.
Did not listen to it. But
eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what God has in plan for the Cleveland Browns today.
And they did it.
It was incredible.
As soon as the Ravens are just good for it, man. They are good for it.
2 of their 3 losses have been against the Raiders and the Browns. Make it make sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, top stories coming up on the other side. We discuss the sports equinox, only the 31st in history. What will you be watching first tonight? Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Robinhood is introducing forecast contracts so you can trade the presidential election. Through Robinhood, you can now trade financial derivatives contracts on who will win the U.S. presidential election, Harris or Trump, and watch as contract prices react to real-time market sentiment.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote. That's theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Model year end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
The future of cool, comfortable sleep is here. Introducing the new Sleep Number Climate Cool Smart Bed. The only smart bed in the world that actively cools and effortlessly adjusts to both of you. Sleep up to 15 degrees cooler on each side. It actively cools to keep you cool and comfortable throughout the night. Save on smart beds now during our fall sale, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all four arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time from the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
About to get into our top stories at the top of the hour, 916. How did both QBs play great if it was 9-0 at half? Talking about the Commanders and Bears showdown. Look, I just was saying it was a good matchup. It's nice to see two young QBs out there, and I'll take watching them figure it out over some of the other trash that was on. They go on to say, so are we saying Caleb looks better than Bo Nix? Because I don't think so. I mean, we could say it or we could not say it. Are you saying, I guess my question would be, you want to take Bo Nix right now over Caleb Williams? It doesn't really matter who looks better right now to me. It matters who you think is going to be a better QB. I'm still not taking Bo Nix over Caleb Williams, if you ask me. Chris, would you?
No, I'm still taking Caleb, and I'm looking at the numbers between the two, and Caleb's got better numbers pretty much across the board, with the exception of sacks taken, which you could definitely argue makes Caleb's case even better. So, yeah. No, I would definitely take Caleb.
But we will continue to see how that all unfolds. All right, let's get into some top stories at the top of the hour. Today is the 31st sports equinox in history, and we have everything going today as far as all the major sports leagues. Monday Night Football, World Series Game 3, 2 MLS playoff games, 11 NBA games, and 8 NHL games, Chris. Obviously, the Kings play tonight, but what is number 2 for you?
Not Monday Night Football. I am not excited.
I was going to be very upset.
Giants Steelers, bad pizza. Bad pizza. While the game's going on, you and I can't avoid Yankees Dodgers because, as we know, we're going to be sitting next to Frankie Cardicelli.
Yep.
Do you think Frankie shows up today? I think we asked him already, and I feel like he said he wasn't going to.
Answer this for me.
Would I show up? No.
Frankie and Brendan.
Okay.
Right now.
Yes.
Frankie writes for home games.
Yeah.
Brendan writes for away.
I believe so. Yeah.
If you're Frankie, do you say, Brendan, can you do me a solid and do this one tonight? Because he ain't going to be locked in.
He shouldn't
go. He is not going to be locked in.
He just shouldn't go. I think, we talk a lot about when coworkers should and shouldn't work. You work on a Friday.
Right.
Whitey comes in on a Friday to finish the week.
Yes.
Frankie, it's Monday. Your favorite it's okay. Your favorite team is playing for a World Series and it's at home. You had an opportunity to split it heading to New York, man. Just chill at home. Swap it out. Swap it out with Brendan and
I would
take the night
swap.
off, man. Come on.
Swap Frankie. And can the Kings fans catch you tonight, post-game tonight?
Yes, I will be post-game tonight, hopefully for the first win, and then we'll figure out where the next one's going to be, because if they don't win today, I'm afraid that I'm going to be told, and frankly, it should be how it is. I'll just have to wait for the next Kings win or the first win to be the next one on. But yes, hopefully tonight, underneath a beam, we'll be doing a post-game.
Maybe a food review tomorrow, too, from all of us?
Maybe. We'll see what it is. We'll see what's for dinner today.
Okay.
It's going to be I think this is last home game for a while. They go on, I think, a week-long homestand or road trip here. So we're not going to see our Kings back at Golden One for a while.
Road dogs.
Chris, this one is in your wheelhouse. The Indiana Fever have parted ways with Coach Christy Sides. The team announced, look, they did get to the playoffs. They got Caitlin Clark for a reason. They weren't very good, but apparently the higher ups in the Indiana Fever didn't think that Christy necessarily helped the situation too much.
Yeah, there was a lot of back and forth all year on if she was doing the right thing, if their offense was the right kind of offense. Their rotation kind of took about 3/4 of the season to really figure out. It's a little bit tough. I think that they have a bigger plan in mind. There's rumors out there that Fever were considering Cheryl Miller as the replacement for this. From my understanding, it's going to be Stephanie White, who's the Connecticut Sun or former Connecticut Sun coach, as they announced about 30 minutes ago that she is now resigned as the coach of the Connecticut Sun. So it seems like that's going to be the next place where she lands, is almost a little bit of a maybe, who knows, maybe a little bit of tampering going on, but it seems like the Fever are going to hire the Connecticut Sun former head coach.
There you go. Around the NBA, Chris, I know it doesn't have the same cachet as it has before, but Bucks at Celtics. Ooh. Bucks heading to Boston to take on the defending champs. That's probably the highlighted one. And then I know this team just played each other and they're going to play each other again. Lakers at Suns. If you look at that sports equinox, those are the two. I'm not counting the Kings Blazers, but those are the two I would keep my eye on. Yeah. Also, your Indiana Pacers, you had your boy Tyrese Halliburton. He's missing free throws. Got a lot of issues. Yeah, he really is. They're heading to Orlando to take on the Magic. So a couple good matchups today. Meanwhile, you watch while you're getting ready for the Kings, to be completely honest, with those early games. So, a lot to pay attention to there. Some other good news here, Chris. Sac 12 announced they have raised over $57 million in NIL funds, according to a press release. Now they have a new goal. Their goal is now targeting $75 million. Sac 12 is real, man. I know people said that it's not happening and it's probably going to be Mountain West, but I still think this thing has legs.
It's crazy, man. I mean, I would have never in my wildest dreams thought that Sacramento could put together something like that, and 57 sounds like more than enough. I also wonder how much of this is dependent on them getting the Pac-12 in order for them to use this. Like, is there any chance that if they do land in the Mountain West, or even if they continue to be in D2, will there be some level of commitment still left over? I think it's a really good showing for them. I just really hope they can get it across the finish line, because there's been too many times, whether it be Sac Republic or the Kings Arena fiasco, where Sacramento's been promised, okay, you're about to take another leap as a sports city, and things have just always came up just a little bit too short. So I hope that they can get this thing past the finish line, because this is crazy. This is unheard of. And, as we see the college football season really, really under swing right now, I just can't help but think how cool it would be to even be a part of the college football conversation and beyond that too. I mean, if we can get some NCAA tournament runs with the growth of women's basketball, if you can get Sac State women into the tournament as well, there's just a lot of different avenues and ways in which Sac State can really put themselves on the map here. I just hope it goes through.
I know you guys will love this one. Kyle Kuzma is retiring his tunnel fix per Vogue magazine. He cites the pressure he and some young players have faced to always buy something new, and says buying clothes to impress people or stand out is ludicrous. And I just find that so funny.
That is ludicrous. That's a ludicrous statement.
For them to
post him.
So they have the quote.
Bedtime PJs.
But the quote is him in his infamous sweater thing.
Nobody
made you buy that.
Who was?
Can we just address that real quick? No one is saying
nobody.
Look, the hey Rook, go buy us food, or your family pressuring you. That's one thing. Kyle, nobody's saying you need to wear this pink Teletubby looking thing.
I thought they buy it for them. I thought like Vogue gives it to them, or not Vogue, but whatever.
I mean, if you have a stylist, they will. But Keegan Murray wears his Kings sweats every single time I've ever seen him. Yeah, people might joke like, hey, Keegan, like buy yourself some clothes, but nobody is pressuring Keegan Murray to start acing the runway or anything like that. It's absolutely insane. What is Kyle talking about?
I'm not calling him a liar. I'm just saying I don't think that's
not
true.
A truther. That's for sure.
I don't necessarily think that's true, but maybe we can ask. I just think there are people that like to dress a certain way. I like to dress up, sure. If I had more money to dress up, even nicer than I would, but nobody is making me do that.
No.
Let's ask
also just recycle outfits.
Right.
Like nobody's telling you they gotta be not that. But man, get yourself some graphic tees, some jackets or something, and just swap them around.
Or this eye to eye, I wear once a month.
Come on.
Once a month.
It's not that hard. If everybody else can figure it out, I'm sure these NBA players can figure it out.
Yeah, that's just not going to go. That's just not going to sound. It's never going to be a good quote.
Come on.
It's just never going to be a good quote.
They're forcing us to buy clothes.
Yeah, I have to buy this sweater.
This $1,000. You don't understand. If I don't spend this grand on this Gucci jacket, people are going to think I'm a lame.
Right. And I don't want to be a lame. Steph Curry will miss the Warriors' next 2 games against the Pelicans after his ankle sprain last night. No structural damage. Evaluated again on Friday prior to the 5-game road trip. That is from Anthony Slater, friend of the show. So Steph, he rolled his ankle, tried to go back in, and rolled it again. And it was bad, Chris. I mean, he limped pretty aggressively into the tunnel. And the Warriors,
like an inside twist, too, not an outside.
Yeah, and the Warriors, they were off to a hot start. They lose last night for the first time to the Clippers, who the Clippers look good. Your boy, Norm Powell, he went off, and James Harden is James Harden. They're trying to do they're basically, to me, what they're trying to do is be the Chiefs with Mahomes as their Kawhi. The problem is Kawhi never plays. So they didn't look terrible, but, they don't really have that star besides James Harden, or what's left of James Harden. They get the W last night. But, yeah, the Warriors, as they tried to get rolling, going to have some trouble without one Steph Curry. Okay, Nate and Lambert, we see you. We'll get to you when we get back into Kings Talk. We're about to preview the Kings Blazers. But, okay, Nate, you said you had something. What is it?
Well, friend of the show, Jimmy Fallon, has some guests on tonight. It's a big deal. He's having the Rizzler and the Costco guys on tonight, so we may need to review that tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh. Poor Frankie.
How do they get on there?
They're everywhere.
Oh, there's a picture coming out tomorrow of because they're promoting Frankie on Dave's show for this upcoming season. Yeah, it's some mastermind put it together, and it's pretty nasty. But Costco guys and the Rizzler tonight on Jimmy Fallon. What even is that?
Yeah, show
You know
somebody
what?
that headline.
They're gonna
3
do the
years ago.
dance?
Yeah. This is, you
Crazy.
just got to figure out something can hit, man. I saw some guy,
That is truly the story of this guy, too. Is something will hit, man.
No, because he's been trying.
Yeah.
He's a wrestler. He's on a wrestling pay-per-view. Verlad was telling me he's coming up. Yeah.
Is Big Justice the dad?
No, Big Justice is the kid.
Okay.
AJ.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
AJ.
At least
AJ,
good.
come on,
Yeah.
Alan.
All right.
Jeez.
Well, I will
Come
say
on.
I will say this. I'm scrolling through. I'm just infinite scrolling on TikTok, and some guy was basically trying to do the pump up, motivational speaking essentially. And he says, if you could play the lottery every day for free, would you do it? And yeah, I would.
Of course.
That's what TikTok is. It's a lottery.
Yeah.
You put out something every single day, your
Right.
life could change.
Yeah. He's not
And
wrong.
He's not wrong.
He's not
wrong.
at all.
But
You
not
have
in a
to have
good
no
way,
shame.
though. Lottery,
No shame.
Lottery, you're getting money, and that's good or bad. But like, you could be infamous on TikTok. Like
you
some
could be
horrible.
Big Justice.
Yeah, but that's
They're
awesome.
millionaires now.
They really are. It's
Yeah,
very
I mean,
unfortunate.
Yeah.
And the talk to her.
Yep.
And that wasn't even That was even random. Then I think I saw she sued or had to ask the guy who posted the original video to take it down. I'd say you need to cash me out.
Yeah. How
Well,
about
she's
that?
getting cashed out. Crazy.
You need to pass that over. All right.
Poor Dwyane Wade also.
Did you see?
Oh,
he was a part of it.
Was he really?
Yes, there are pictures. Do not feel bad
Wait,
for
a part
Dwyane
of
Wade.
what? You're not talking about the statue?
No, we
Dwyane
are
Wade,
talking about this.
Dwyane Wade unveiled his statue, and a lot of people are just like Chris was saying, poor Dwyane Wade.
Yeah.
But there are
Might be
pictures
the
of
worst statue.
Dwyane Wade with the clay. He was there every step of the way
Yikes.
as they made this thing, and he loves how it looks. So
No, he don't.
that's what he said.
Oh, I saw him in the video be like, I can't believe this is me. And it's coming off as like, hey, this doesn't look like me at all. I'll find the clip and we could talk about it.
Find it, but also search the fact that he was a part of creating it. All right, Kings versus Blazers preview on the other side. And Lambert, we see you. I know you want to talk Kings. Stiles and Watkins, Sac Town Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento State football this Saturday at 6 versus Portland State. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller,
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist? Huh, you don't say. Oh, I can't remember.
but she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive
That's
Casualty
right.
Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Yeah, more bad news. Well, I know we're in Kings land, so maybe not. But Anthony Slater, DeAnthony Melton will miss at least the next 2 games with a strained lower back, team says. Steph Curry is out, and Andrew Wiggins questionable with a lower back strain. Anthony Slater goes on to say this is when that depth begins to be tested. But this is what I'm saying, man. This is why you playing to do 40 minutes, Mike Brown, 40 minutes, 38 minutes a night. It's a long season. It's a long season, okay? So gotta spread those minutes around. We're about to get to Lambert here, again to our Kings Blazers preview. But real quick, Nate, because because Chris saw
I did
the picture that I was telling you about Dwyane Wade, but then Chris also went on to say that the clay looks different than the actual statue. But let's get your Dwyane Wade sound.
Like, that's crazy. I can't believe that. Who is that guy?
He said that at the intro, and he points at it. It seemed that's the only clip I found. I saw a longer one earlier, but it's like
there's one of him and his son Zaire looking at each other, and Zaire's kind of like shaking his head and then looks at him, and D Wade is just kind of like looking up and shaking his head, and then they make eye contact for like a half second, and D Wade kind of smirks. I think a lot of people are drawing conclusions.
Can we figure out the statue thing
from the nose down?
Here's my question: what statues look good?
None.
Can someone show me a statue that is very accurate to somebody?
The one of Abraham Lincoln's pretty good.
Dave was there.
There we go. Hey,
Allen Iverson. I feel like a lot of people
has to be huge.
It was only a bust, but Allen Iverson. I feel like the Allen Iverson one, people were pretty.
Yes, people hate it. Yeah.
No, they were good with that.
No, people like that one. Yes, it was just
small.
really, really small. That's right.
Yes,
I was like, there was definitely something about that.
Yeah, the AI one. All right, let's get into this.
The Ronaldo one, of course, is
that
all-time.
Oh
classic.
yeah,
that one's a classic.
That one is really hard to look at.
I'm looking at the AI one again, and it's crazy because he looks like if you were to do like an NBA Street, but like a mini version of them. Like that's what he is. This is like a laughably small statue for a guy who's already under 6 feet.
Like
I
a
know,
pop figure.
It just looks like a joke. Like, do you see this? It looks like a joke.
Oh, it is tiny.
It's so small.
Look, it's not that tiny.
How tall was AI?
He was under 6 feet.
Yeah.
No, he was claiming.
And that's
6
short.
foot.
And that's really short.
Someone said Rocky statue 925.
Oh, sure. There you go.
Yeah.
There
you go. All right.
They just don't make them like that anymore.
Getting to our Blazers Kings.
Too much
preview.
realism.
Lambert 916-339-1140. Thank you, Lambert, for waiting throughout our shenanigans. What's up? You're on Stiles and Watkins. Happy
Rocky
Monday.
Statue does.
Oh, no, I actually was inspired. I won't take long. You guys actually inspired me because we own a cheesecake business, and I was going to talk about the Kings, but you guys were talking about taking something viral, and I'm a baby boomer, so if we can figure that out, you guys could make a pretty penny off of a cheesecake company that's based in Sacramento. I'll give you the Instagram page at the end.
Okay, we're getting our own sponsors. This is what we need. This is what we need.
And you guys can get a complimentary cheesecake. Let me give you the name of the Instagram page, then I'll get to the Kings.
Okay, well, let's do the Kings, and hang on. Nate will get you the
don't hang up. Don't hang up. Don't hang up.
Oh, I won't hang up.
Okay, because I do love a cheesecake.
But what I wanted to say is you touched on two things that led to me to call about the Kings. One, I'm a Grant Pacer alumni. I'm also a Boise State University alumni. So it's a lot of winning in those traditions. And I would suggest don't panic yet with the Kings. It's only 2 games. But if they start losing tonight and lose on the road, then there's reason for alarm.
Yeah. No, thanks for the call, Lambert. Nate's gonna
Don't hang up.
Yeah, Nate's gonna take care of you. I do. You like cheese because you don't like the pies or sweets. I love a good cheesecake.
I love a free cheesecake. That's for sure. I promise you.
And it's around that time.
I'll promote them.
Look, I get my Thanksgiving meal. What the problem is with Thanksgiving, I eat too much, and then the dessert.
Yep.
I gotta. You know what? In this year of my life, I'm gonna learn not to overeat at Thanksgiving so I can enjoy the dessert. That's my problem.
Yep.
That's my problem. All right, thanks.
Old heads
Lambert.
will tell you got to take a nap too.
That's right.
That's how you really get it.
That was great stuff there.
Yes.
All right, Chris, I'm handing the reins over to you for this Kings Blazers preview.
All right, real quick here, just a quick little preview. Kings Blazers tonight, 7:00. This time it's for all the marbles. Sacramento, as we know, has allowed its first 2 opponents to shoot over 40% from 3 from downtown this season. The Lakers just went 14 of 34 during Saturday's game. Last season, the Kings ranked 29th out of 30th in three-point defense, allowing 38.6% of threes to go into their opponents. Currently, They are once again at 29th in the NBA in defensive three-point percentage. Portland holds a 33% average from deep over 3 games so far this year. That's 23rd in the NBA. Something's got to give. Either we know it's unfortunate actually tonight's going to be at Golden One Center because we know everybody comes in here and all of a sudden starts to become a 40% three-point shooting team. Something's got to give. Either the Kings' three-point defense steps up or the Blazers hit shots out of nowhere like every other team has seemingly in this building. We'll see which one is more likely to give. Sacramento is ranked last in offensive rebounds, as we read earlier. 4.5 offensive rebounds. They're last in total rebounds per game, 35 rebounds, and 25th in defensive rebounds at 30 per game. Portland is tied for 21st in offensive rebounds per game at 13.7. So that's a lot of extra opportunities. And last night in the Blazers' first game of their back-to-back, they had 22 offensive rebounds. The Kings cannot allow that. The Blazers are a bigger team. They have Klingon. They have Ayton. Both of those two finished with 6 offensive rebounds in their game yesterday. And, of course, like I mentioned, Portland is playing on the second night of a back-to-back. They got their first win of the season last night against the Pelicans. Big win, 125-103. You have to take advantage. This is a young team that doesn't really have much promise for this season. They got their win out of the way. You should be hungrier. You should be better. There's really no excuse for the Kings to lose this game. And then on the injury report front from the Blazers, we know that obviously Devin Carter, Orlando Robinson out for the Kings. On the Blazers side, Robert Williams is out with a hamstring. Shaedon Sharpe will not be playing tonight with a shoulder injury. And Matisse Thybulle, the defensive mastermind, also out with a knee injury today. So really, 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 as we say too many times, and it still doesn't matter, no excuses. No excuses tonight.
And right now, Chris, the Blazers are trying to figure out things. Scoot Henderson's not even starting.
No, he's not. No.
So Scoot
off the bench.
Yeah, Scoot Henderson's coming off the bench. It's really the Anthony Simon show with Jeremy Grant, and that's basically it. And DeAndre Ayton, of course. And I think DeAndre Ayton is a pretty darn good ball player. People just don't like him at that price point. So there's enough here for the Kings to trick off. I think that's what I'm saying. There's definitely enough here for the Kings to trick off. So don't let it happen, Sacramento. Don't let it happen. Prop talk, dog segment, NFL picks. I think Nate might have cooked on this one. We got to check. Stiles and Watkins, Sac Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at Amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to Amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at DaleGomesLaw.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Sacramento State football is back at home this Saturday. Join us for Salute to Heroes Night and check out some high-flying action between your Sacramento State Hornets and the Portland State Vikings. And after the game, stick around for the post-game fireworks show. It's this Saturday, November 2nd at Hornet Stadium. 6 o'clock game time between Sacramento State and Portland State. Tickets on sale now at hornetsports.com. We'll see you there, and Stingers up.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now that fall is here, now is the perfect time to head to Stockton and check out a new Mercedes-Benz. I had the opportunity just last week to drive an all-new S-Class 550, and let me tell you, it was a sweet ride. The moment I hopped in, I felt like I was in a world of luxury. From the steering wheel to the seat cooling and even the power of the engine, I was impressed. And then, of course, when I hopped into my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, I felt the same thing. So hurry in and take advantage of the Mercedes-Benz incentive bonuses up to $15,000. And they have tons of pre-owned vehicles as well, including C-Class sedans, GLC SUVs, and a whole lot more. Take it from me, you won't be disappointed. So take the short drive down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbofstockton.com.
Live and local.
Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Cheesecake and beams. That's been the theme of this show. Oh, and blonde hair, by the way. Nate, do blondes have more fun?
I definitely feel like my IQ's gone down about 10.
Okay. All right.
Well.
So, yeah, I'm having more fun.
So what are you at now? Yeah.
72. 70. It could always be worse, guys.
That's right.
That's right.
So you're going to go to the game tonight?
I already went to the Niners yesterday. I'm going to the game tonight. Yeah.
So you're just going to be.
It's going to be rough tonight because I know a lot more people at the Kings, and it's going to be.
I can't wait for Frankie to see you.
Oh, it really, dude. I thought I was going to get killed today by everyone, but I really didn't.
Well, what do you want us to say? I mean, we're not going to sit there and make fun of you to your face. We'll do it behind your back.
I'd way rather it to my face, but okay. Oh man, that's brutal.
I'm just kidding.
It could always be worse, man.
Were you expecting like people to point and laugh? I mean, that's happened.
I thought
that's already happened to you.
Nah, just like killer slams. Because I was thinking of slams myself and like how I'm gonna respond to these slams, prepping. And
speaking of slams, you do look like Slam Sin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah. I saw you guys see him on media day without the mask. That was scary.
No,
you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to see
it was
well,
not.
It's not a mask. That's why
it was making me uncomfortable.
You're just calling him an ugly guy.
No, they have some stuff under there, like you know how Batman puts the eye makeup on.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Real quick, and I know when I say all right, that means we're going to get back on track. But
it's fine.
I just have something to say real quick.
Okay.
And before we get into prop talk and dog segment, and we are not playing Who Let the Dogs Out tonight.
No.
They do not deserve it.
No, they definitely don't.
But real quick,
or maybe they do.
I wanted to say this because Nate was talking about, I thought I would kind of get clowned or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I might have said this before, but it kind of bothers me how specifically if you're watching a reality show or any type of documentary, or when somebody's talking about their background, right? Or not necessarily their upbringing, but when they were growing up. Have you ever noticed that? And look, I know I'm a little older than you and Nate, but now the revisionist history, everybody talks about how they were bullied growing up. I just want to meet one person that says, I was the bully. Because I've never, all these guys, this guy is like a 6'4" stud on Love Island. And I was bullied growing up.
He used to make fun of me for my list.
Yeah, I'm like, well, everybody used to get made fun of. Right.
He had a 7-pack in second grade.
Everybody got made fun of a little bit. And I'm not saying bullying didn't exist. I'm just saying I want some dude to sit there and say, oh yeah, growing up, I wasn't
the most chill person.
Yeah, I was the bully. Because I can't find him, Chris. All these people were bullied growing up, but there's no bullies out there. And I'm not saying I was a bully.
No, the only bullies out there apparently were teachers who told kids that they would never be what they ended up being.
Yes.
Those are the only.
And the rappers.
Jason Tatum. Somebody apparently told 6'7". You see Deuce? You see how tall Deuce is as a 5-year-old? And somebody had the audacity to tell Jason Tatum,
right?
Can you get a more realistic dream than NBA player? You're 6 feet tall in 3rd grade. Like, I'm pretty sure you're going to be an accountant.
It's all this stuff. I know for a fact that some of these teachers listen to these rapper songs and they say, and to that teacher who said I'd never be nothing, and the teacher said, all I told you was to do your book report. I never told you wouldn't.
I just said stop writing rhymes and write a book report.
Right. I never told you weren't going to amount to
on time.
I'm sure some of these stories are true, but some of them are definitely a bit fabricated.
For sure.
What the definition of bullying is, I'm sure you get everybody's. It's just a victim.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, you're on Love Island. And so everybody was a late bloomer, apparently.
Everybody, yep.
And nobody, there's all these bullies. Everyone got bullied, but I just want one person to just keep it 1,000 and say, I hit my growth spurt in 3rd grade, and I was a complete jerk to
And I think I've heard comedians talk about this, but it is a little bit like, well, how much of it is like, there's a difference between like bullying and like, hey, like you're short. Hey, you're fat.
Yeah.
That's what kids do. And then there's a difference between obviously that and then completely stepping over the line. And it feels like, apparently you were just supposed to be told you're great and you look awesome and keep going at it. You're going to be a success.
I got clowned, man. And it's all, it helps.
Those are your friends.
It helps to get clowned.
It does.
All right. Well, hopefully the Kings don't get clowned tonight.
Yeah, exactly. How many times do the Kings have to get bullied and embarrassed before they start to learn?
That's right. And they lose tonight, I'm clowning them tomorrow.
No, they get bullied tomorrow.
I'm clowning
Whitey
them.
and Drapes are there right now. They're ready to go.
And if they lose, and look, I'll clown them too.
So no crosstalk.
Going out there.
I clown I clown people. And I get if you do clownery, then clownery comes back on to you.
That's right.
And that's okay.
Right. That's beautiful.
You got to be able to dish it and
that's
take
why
it.
You're the talent.
That's right. Hey, thank you, Slim Shady. All right, Chris, you have a pick for prop talk.
Obi Trice.
I do have a pick for prop talk. I'm trying. It was really good. I kind of want to do just because it's almost a nod to our friend Frankie Cardicelli, who's been possibly betting against the other team against his Yankees, so that either way he wins.
Okay.
I'm taking from the spirit of that, and I'm going to do over De'Aaron Fox 2.5 threes. Because if he's going to take them, I might as well get something out of it. Because I don't know what else I'm going to do. If this has him making 3, I mean, I'm assuming that's him taking at least 7. Hopefully, it can be 3 or 4 for my sake. But if he's going to take them, I might as well try and benefit some part of it. And even if it is just not even for cash, it's just for pride on this show, I'll take it. De'Aaron Fox 2.5 over 3s.
So Keegan Murray has been so hot. The app that I'm on, they're not even offering the normal 2.5. All they have is a demon at 4.5.
4.5.
That's nasty.
My goodness.
I don't think I can take that.
That's high. That is very high.
I don't know what I'm going to do here. I
was also looking at DeMar 3s. I think he's at 1.5.
These games are scary because there is always the blowout possibility, which
that's true
could
too.
alter
Yep,
everything
for sure.
Okay, so I'm actually, if you look at the guys that are going to get time, basically, if you think the Kings are going to take care of business, you should dang near take an under. To be honest,
that's usually the move. I feel like
I would say, and with that being said, I'm looking here. Yeah, I'm saying Domantas Sabonis under 40. Because if they take care of business, 40 points, rebounds, assists.
Dang, dude, I was going to take the over on that.
Do it.
Okay, all right.
Do it.
Well, I don't think we've ever done that.
No, I don't think we have either.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, after Ashley's call out earlier, I think Sabonis got to step it up.
Okay.
He had 51 against the Lakers. Obviously, he had a triple double, but he had 33 against Minnesota. He had a lot of he had a lot of points, but he didn't have the rebound.
Yep.
The rebounds was the problem. So 33.
Yeah. I was thinking about during the break of taking this too, but it's just a scary number. Like
40.
I mean, it's even if that's saying that he has, let's say, I mean, Sabonis last year averaged 12 rebounds per game.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're expecting a 20, 12, and 8 at least. That's to reach 40.
Really, the issue that I've learned, like where I'm starting to move away from, is I just don't like assists. So much can go wrong on assists, or they take another dribble.
That's the problem.
Weren't we saying, Chris, that they can deem that the pass didn't? Like if I pass Chris the ball and Chris pump fakes, somebody goes flying, only takes one dribble, but does a jab step or something, the scorers could say that assist did not actually help Chris score. That's why I don't like it.
Whose decision? So I know you've done stats for the Kings, right, Alan?
Yes.
So when you're doing that, is someone in your ear letting you know?
No, I'm just following the screen. We got to find out who's behind the screen.
There's a
Marsh
dedicated,
does it a lot too.
There's a dedicated NBA person.
Right, but Marsh, we're just relaying.
Who is essentially a judge who's deciding what is what.
Yes.
Like what is deemed a rebound, which is more straightforward, but what's an assist? What is someone's technically turnover or steal? Yeah, like what? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how that works.
Assists scare me, man. They just so much has to go right. Especially now, you know
get the
what?
benefit of home at least.
You get the benefit of the
home scorekeeper,
but less DHOs too.
A lot less DHOs. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, maybe the hope is if you are rooting for Sabonis to get over assists, that they run more than what they have before. But I mean, to go game one, no assist or one assist and he had 10 on Saturday, you don't really know which way this team is going right now. And it feels like it's a lot more isolation than ever. So I think it's a bit of a scary note.
Part of me wants to go away from
keep up the scoring.
Yeah. Part of me wanted to fade DeMar DeRozan simply because of the minutes. I think that the hope is that they come out, beat the brakes off the Blazers, and get these guys some rest.
Hopefully.
Have we mentioned
they also play tomorrow too? Kings are on their own little back-to-back here.
So Kings are favored tonight, 12.5 last time I checked, a couple hours ago. I put a poll up in the beginning of the show for our YouTube audience. Do you think the Kings will win by 13, win less than 13, or they'll blow it? And it's a pretty diverse. 18% thinks they're going to blow it. 47 thinks they're going to win by less than 13. And then 35 thinks more than 13, which I think is pretty optimistic.
I think they're winning by less than 13.
Yeah.
I just don't
That is a big spread.
I want to see their blowout capability.
I see one of the spreads even at 13.5.
I'm staying away from that. They're going to get the win, though. They're definitely going to get the win. All right. We go over our NFL picks and our final thoughts before the game tonight when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Tech-Town Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike with the left hand. The Kings lead by 3.
Sac Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. for. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Rob Thomas, a special intimate performance.
I don't wanna be lonely no more. I don't wanna have to pay for it.
Benefiting Sidewalk Angels Foundation. One night only, Saturday, November 16th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Rob Thomas.
Now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep, because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Got dog segment and our NFL picks. This NFL picks is going to go pretty fast. I mean, is anybody not picking the Steelers?
So I feel like it gets dangerous when we do this.
Yeah.
It just feels like it never works out. Every time it's like, so nobody's going with, whatever, Team X. And then I feel like 2 times at least it's been that ends up biting us.
Here's where we're at right now. Chris, I think, is knocked out. He had 6 misses.
Okay.
Allen also had 6. And I had 4. So it doesn't matter then. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what we do.
Well, then, yeah, I'm going G-Man.
Nice.
Give me the Giants.
Nice.
Give me the Giants.
And I did take the Patriots over the Jets. I was laughed at.
Yeah.
For that.
Don't pat yourself on the back too hard.
Yeah. The Jets are horrible.
Yeah.
That's where I was trying to get. The Jets are bad. That's embarrassing. They're done. They're dead, right?
They're done.
I think so.
I mean, we're burying teams tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They're and then the Rams are right back a lot. Undertaker jumping out of the coffin, right back, which sucks.
That's what they do. I mean, and Kyle Shanahan said he felt good about where the Niners were at, and what else is he going to say to that point, Nate? I know we had talked about it, but you only have the tiebreaker right now. It's a huge stretch for the Niners, and you put yourself in a position where it's we've been playing playoff football. When's the last team that won the Super Bowl that said, we've been playing playoff football for the 3 weeks here? That team never wins the Super Bowl because it's really hard.
What do you mean by that?
When there's a team who you put yourself against the wall, right? So every game is essentially a playoff game because you're trying to get into the playoffs. There's always a team like that, but I'm saying that team never actually wins the Super Bowl.
Except the 08 Giants and the 11 Giants.
Sure.
Yeah, there's always a couple exceptions, but yeah.
Yeah, so you hopefully can continue to win games so you're not in a situation like that because, they're all 4-4 besides the Rams, and the Niners only have the tiebreaker right now against the Seahawks, who they own. But the Cardinals, Chris, we'll talk about it more tomorrow during our NFL Blitz, but the Cardinals, you wanted to leave if you had just come back home.
How it goes. When you have a team that you
back home.
This is how it works, man. When you have a team that you just fully quit and you believe in, and then they scorn you, and then you quit them, that's when they bring you back in. It's the most toxic relationship. And I don't know what to do with the Cardinals. I mean, you look at their roster, it's not really much to get excited for, but I mean, they have played really well against some quality opponents. And I don't know, maybe they're just destined to kind of hover around 8-8 all year, or around 500 all year. And then the last game of the season might determine which side of the fence they fall on. But I just don't know what to do with them. And they continue to just be good enough to have me believe, but also not quite good enough to where I can dismiss them. So I don't know. I mean, they have some figuring out to do too. They have an interesting slate of games in front of them too.
There you go. All right, let's get into our dog segment. And again, no music because they refuse to win basketball games. So the dog for tonight, Chris, you look like you already have yours.
Yeah, I put DeMar down here mainly because something you said earlier. DeMar DeRozan was brought in so that the Kings would not even consider losing these games. Like, he's supposed to be the big difference maker. Sabonis even made mention to it in an article that we read a couple weeks ago that, you know, that's supposed to be kind of what he's brought in here to do, is to focus the guys and not let stupid losses like we had last year against the Pistons and the Hornets and the Blazers, not let those happen again. And it's early in the year. You shouldn't need somebody to focus you up, especially when you haven't won a game yet this season. But here is case number one for hopefully this Kings team looking different than last year, because I think if you were to take the pulse of the DNA of last year's team, this game is absolutely in the Blazers' reach. And realistically, this should not be. It should be a 13.5 point spread, and the Kings shouldn't worry about this one at all. We should be able to go home today. And honestly, you should be able to leave halfway through the fourth quarter and not feel bad about it.
There you go. Nate, who is your dog?
Well, I'd like, before I give my dog, I know you guys talked about it earlier, but do you guys think Kevin Huerter had a good game? He had 14 points, an assist, couple rebounds, 4 for 7 from 3, 5 from 9 from the field. Do you think he had a good game? I think
it was fine. Yeah.
I don't think he's the reason they lost.
And he's not back on track yet, obviously, right? Like, we're not saying that. Because I want to pick Huerter. I can't pick Trey Lyles a third time in a row, right? Like, I got to get off that train.
Really curse.
So I might just pick Domas. That's the easy one, right?
Sure.
Anybody is available when your team is winless.
That's also true.
Yeah.
You can pick anybody.
Nobody's off the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except, I'll just go with Domas.
There we go.
Nate's going with Domas. 916-339-1140. Give us your dog sack chat and the text line as well as a quick call. And by the way, if you're new to the show, we've been doing it for over a year now.
Yep, now
I think we missed now that I think about it, and I'll give my dog, don't worry, but pretty sure, Chris, we missed our anniversary. Our anniversary was your birthday.
Yeah. It's always the weird one where you don't know which day. Should you do it on the Friday? Should we do it on the Monday? We decided to do neither. So I guess this can just be a week. You know, it could be our anniversary week.
Nate, play some. Can you get us some
like celebrate good time or something?
Yeah. Some celebratory music going to end the show. It's been over a year now.
Not Who Let the Dogs Out.
No.
That would not count. He was going for it. I don't even see him, and I know.
You know what? And going back to the beginning of the show and crosstalk, they're missing out. Dave and Jason. Dave and Jason said they want us to do, what is it? The
newlywed game.
The newlywed game. They should have done it for the year.
This is so sad already.
It's like a walking down the aisle.
Yeah, we probably.
This is not.
This newlywed. You guys anniversary.
This is not what anybody
first
asked for.
Dance.
Could you imagine you two doing a first?
Can you just
No, I can't.
Am I giving away my daughter? Like, what's going on?
No, what is happening? How is this at all celebratory at all?
Well,
come on.
Okay, Ed Sheeran.
No. Like, celebrate good times. You know, come on. Something, I don't know, anything, a pop and beat. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Come on, DJ Bedhead.
That was terrible.
That was horrible.
That was worse than your hair.
Well,
that was worse than your hair for sure.
That's what you wanted, right? You wanted to be made fun of.
I was ready for it. I don't know.
That's what you wanted.
That's what I want.
That's what you asked for, right?
That's
Nate?
what you wanted, right?
Yeah. That's what you wanted.
Alan,
I feel like
dog.
you were a bully in high school.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No,
because you're like the cool baseball jock guy.
I wasn't a bully.
Whoa, but you got bullied?
Bullies get bullied.
Interesting. Well, high school was kind of neither.
I said some mean stuff.
But again, I'm not even using the B word. Yeah, people would roast me for stuff, and I would roast them for stuff. But like I said, if you ready, if you go roast me, be ready, because I'm gonna get you.
I think I only got hit a few times, so it wasn't that bad. Like bullied, like physically.
When's the last time a swirly was given?
I don't think ever.
How many swirlies were actually given?
That's disgusting.
Yeah, probably not.
And you should be
You'd
expelled.
probably be kicked out of school.
Yeah.
Nat, well, for sure. Nat, was the last swirly? Has there been a swirly given since 05?
Huh?
Probably not.
2000.
Probably
Dude.
not. Yeah. I think you're pushing on 2000.
I think
Early 2000s was
1998,
crazy.
the last swirly happened somewhere in Montana.
It's like senior pranks, It's just like they went by the wayside. Like they got too, you
Senior
took it a
ditch
step
day.
too far, and then I used to love the MTV used to have the senior prank show. It was pretty dang good.
Yeah,
one of my favorites.
I liked Bully Beatdown. You guys remember that one?
I do remember that.
Jason, the crazy guy, the MMA guy. Do you know what I'm talking about, Chris?
No.
He was a UFC guy, not like Mad Dog. What was his name? He was he got arrested recently.
Right.
He was on that. He was the host of the show.
Oh.
Anyways.
No, I don't remember.
Scared Straight, if we're talking about bullies.
Oh, man.
Those kids got issues.
Yeah.
We could real quick, crazy world MMA world this weekend, Chris. We had Max Holloway get knocked out.
Yeah.
And
Man,
I said Forrest Whitaker, Robert Whitaker get his jaw snapped, which was just insane.
Absolutely. It was insane.
I can't do all that. 916
Chimaev, man, look out.
says, just started listening, but I think the more that I read this, they don't mean to the show. They mean to this show. Just started listening. Going positive. We're 2 games in with 2 well-played games against quality opponents. I like the shot selection, and the effort has been great. Fox will come out with 15 in the first quarter and set the tone, and Will Cruz and I Folsom Mike. Oh, yeah, we know Folsom.
De'Aaron's shot selection has actually made me sick.
They don't also always win when Fox goes off, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, that means somebody needs to say that we're not losing to this team. All right,
please.
We got the Sac Chat. Curtis Hicks, my dog is Fox again. He'll have a big game tonight. Ward says swirlies, LOL. I forgot about those.
Noogies.
And Ward wanted us to play Bruno
Those
Mars.
suck.
Yeah, no, Chris would not allow us to play.
Bruno Mars.
Yeah, Noogies
Not
are still happening, though.
Noogies have to still
Yeah, Noogies. I hope Noogies are still happening.
Yeah.
They did hurt, though.
They hurt.
They really
my
did
scalp
hurt.
is super sensitive right now, too.
Manny too legit. My dog is Keegan tonight with over 20 points, 4+ made threes, and over 8 rebounds. Okay.
Wow.
I like that. You guys ever do a turtle bite?
No.
A turtle
No,
bite?
that sounds like it'd be on Urban Dictionary.
yeah.
So you take your index finger, you put your index finger up, and then you stick your thumb in between your index finger and your middle finger, and you pinch your younger sibling or whoever.
Does that
it hurts
man.
more?
Yeah.
I'll give you one. Come here, let me give you a turtle bite.
Uncle Al wants to give you a turtle bite.
Uncle
Al, get over here.
Let me give you a turtle bite.
I don't want to see Uncle Al. He always bites
Give me turtle
me.
bites. Yeah, no, they're turtle bites, man. They
No,
hurt.
I've never heard of that.
They hurt. So maybe I was a bully.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think the bullies realized they were bullies.
That's
is the
also
thing.
a great
Yeah,
point.
Tin saying Wet Willie needs to be part of the conversation.
Tin
Wet
was at
Willies are
beach
just
hut the other day.
nasty.
Wet Willies are
Those are
disgusting.
just nasty. You're just a nasty person.
Who's the last person to get shoved in their locker?
My locker in high school, well, at least for my size, I was not. There was no way anyone could fit in there.
Because in these, they'll be.
You could maybe do like a sports locker or something.
You ever watch a movie though, and the bullying is just so over the top?
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
it'll be some kid just walking, and
Man.
they're coming back from losing their parents, and then the bully is just sitting there. Hey, how you doing? Since your mom's dead.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, who says this? Who says
The
this?
one that always got me, I think it was Spider-Man 2 when he was in college and they're like bullying him, hitting him like spitballs and hitting him with their backpack. It's like, this is college.
Right.
That's not going on.
Like, that's not happening.
Hey, I'm glad Uncle Ben's dead, Peter.
Yeah, you are getting turtle bites though.
Yeah, in college you're getting turtle
You're
bites for
definitely
sure.
getting turtle
I was getting
bites.
turtle bit every day.
All right. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Drive Guys up next. They're in the building. Go say what's up to them. If you end up going to the game, they are at Golden One Center getting you ready for the first win that the Kings will have for this 2024-2025 season. Been a great show. Thank you again for listening. Congrats to our winner, Douglas, of the 4-pack of UC Davis tickets. You will have more chances throughout the week. Thank you to all the callers, texters, Sack Shatters. Until tomorrow, secure the bag. Please, 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 Kings. Light the beat.